You know, I think it'd be very disappointing if, you know, people said in 5 or 10 years' time that Geelong had a great side but only won one premiership.
Anything's possible if you really believe.
We figure if we get everything that we're trying to do right, results will look after themselves.
We're ready to play in a grand final. We're ready to win one. I think if you're good enough to get there, you're good enough to win.
I see things like the code and how hard we've worked as a group and how much you blokes want to be mates for life. We really need you in here. We really need the job, mate. Do some real special work on the team. Come on!
It was one of the greats, a grand final that lived up to all the hype. Geelong, a team of mighty powers, and Hawthorn, so bold and brash. It was the master versus the apprentice, and this time, the apprentice prevailed.
That's what I'm talking about!
We've waited for 6 months for tonight's big game.
Been rivalry there right from the 80s.
There's a bit of history there now.
This is the start we want.
The Cats and the Hawks are the trailblazers of an evolving game.
It's a fierce team, great competitors.
Two young, really good sides going at it.
The Cats with their run and carry.
Charging down towards the 50.
And the Hawks with their rolling zone.
He's the man!
What a start!
The Hawks have gone from the hunter to the hunter.
They play football the right way.
The Cats, they're out to beat the team that stole their flag.
You know when you go out there, you're never going to get an easy ball.
They've been the benchmark for the last 2 years in the league.
Friday night football at the G.
When these two teams walk out the race, last year will be a distant memory.
The big boy gets the first for the Hawks.
Oh, the drummer! The can't
We're anticipating another spine-tingling battle.
To be the best, you've got to beat the best.
And it's a great challenge for us to come up against them Thursday.
Give me a chance!
Will it be worth the wait? You bet it will.
And the kick is a goal from Bateman.
Two teams desperate for a win. Big crowd, big stage, big match. So out come the Cats, 20 of the 22 who were here in September last year. And they start favourites tonight. 42 out of the last 45 they won, but they didn't win the big one when they started favourite in September last year. But they were sparkling in the NAB Cup. Mooney may be a little underdone. Hawkins not getting in. But the Hawks, well, they're almost unrecognisable from the team that won the premiership. 7 changes, Gillam a late withdrawal, Stokes comes in, and believe it or not, they're playing 3 rookies here tonight. But they've got Buddy and they've got Hodge, just as Geelong have got Abbott, and they're brilliant midfielders. As we welcome you to the MCG, what a night it should be. It was a watershed grand final. The rules changed after it, and the strategies for a lot of the other teams in the competition. These teams are building a rivalry, and one of them can go from Premier to building a dynasty in the next couple of years. Well, this cup is close to me tonight, but for the AFL teams right now, it's in a remote place. It's hard to get hold of, and for the two favourites, they begin their journey in 2009 here tonight. Dennis.
Lee Matthews, 181 days. Sure goes quickly.
Fantastic. And the 2 grand finalists rematched again. Fantastic.
And Nathan, very unusual. The runners-up in last year's grand final start red-hot favourites tonight.
Yeah, well, Geelong have been the most dominant team for the last 2 years. It just so happens that their opponent tonight beat them in the last game they played, and it was a grand final.
Well, for the Cats, no new faces. The highlighted players didn't play in last year's grand final.
Yeah, no, they're a relatively settled lineup, and one of their mainstays after just a couple of years is Joel Selwood. I think there's not a football lover in the country that doesn't appreciate the way he goes about it. His courage, he never takes his eye off the ball. His gut-busting follow-up run is part of the modern-day football. We can see it here. always trying to work hard to get involved in the next contest. He is the epitome and the personification of the way Geelong want to play their football.
Best on ground in the NAB Cup Grand Final. And for the Hawks, 3 players, as Bruce said earlier, will make their debuts tonight. Late news, Gillam is out. Stokes comes in. Interesting replacement, Lee.
Well, absolutely, but 7 players different to their premiership, the premiership team of last year. A lot of 3 first gamers is a lot. Luke Hodge, the way he controlled the grand final out of defence. Don't know if I've ever seen a defender control a grand final before. Geelong must be out to do something. We're going to put our ISO camera around that area of the ground just to see how Hodge controls that Hawthorn defence and how Geelong try to counter it. I thought maybe a Max Rook might be a player that Geelong will look through to play that defensive forward role. He's named to start on interchange, so it's not going to happen from the first bounce. But we'll monitor that throughout the night.
Sam Mitchell, the premiership skipper. There he is, unassuming, but a big night for him tonight. The flag has already been raised. We'll show you some highlights shortly. The big 2, the top 2, out tonight at the MCG. It's round 1. The wait is over. It's Friday night football. Tonight we go inside the Cats' lair with Mark Thompson. Nathan Buckley goes one-on-one with Sam Mitchell.
It's harder to stay at the top and get there.
It's the grand final rematch on Friday night football.
It's about 3 or 4 seasons of hard work. In the case of one fella, it's 17 seasons of hard work. And you guys will be best mates for the rest of your lives. As I said before the game.
So Alistair Clarkson there and the Green family here tonight. Grandfather Jeffrey, son Declan and his grandson Damien, all unfurling the flag in the tradition of the family club. They've been members, well, in Jeffrey's case, for 46 years. Here's the toss of the coin. Michael Osborne's 100th game tonight, and Cameron Ling, of course, for Tom Harley. Well, what a stage we've got as we welcome in Tim Watson.
Yes, Mac, I want to take you back 6 months now to the morning of the AFL Grand Final 2008. Now, Jake Niall writes for the Melbourne Age. He writes a column about Geelong, about the way they attack, the way they like to go forward. He says it reminds him of a quote from the Woody Allen movie, Annie Hall. Relationships are just like sharks. The only way they can survive if they go forward. Now, Al Clarkson reads it. He thinks it's a great way to convey a message about slowing down the Cats. It's been a constant theme with them all season. So prior to the game, he and his fellow coaches decide to draw a shark on the whiteboard, as we just saw there. Now, coaches they are, artists they're not. And to the rescue came the skipper, Sam Mitchell, who picked up the pen and completed the doodling. And the rest, as they say, is history. So 6 months later, they're back. The tactics will be similar. Tonight, they'll be hell-bent again on slowing down the shark. A shark that may be in a feeding frenzy after the Hawks chairman, Jeff Kennett, labelled Geelong mentally fragile last weekend. And don't think for 1 second that that hasn't been mentioned in the change rooms of Geelong before they came out on the MCG tonight.
And that is why Sam Mitchell is captain, of course. He can draw on that whiteboard. Set to go on Friday night. The umpires tonight, McBurney, Wen and Ryan. Plenty of experience there.
We've got plenty of marquee matchup all over the field, but Scarlett and Franklin that we saw close up there is definitely one of those. Franklin didn't have to get the ball much in the grand final to be dangerous. He'll be trying to drag Scarlett out of that defensive 50 where he's most comfortable.
As always, a little foreplay. We're underway then. Opening bounce. Now the ruckman touched the ball. Eventually it fell to Wattens, as you saw, but really it's going nowhere, so we'll have a ball up.
This is how the Hawks start. They had their players out there for the flag unfurling about 20 minutes before the siren. Interesting what that does to your concentration about having everything on tonight.
Tuck over the top, hands to it first. Ottens again.
Brad Sewell holding by the jumper against Cameron Lee. Brad Sewell, free kick, Brad Sewell.
Heard the umpire, one of the stars of the grand final, Brad Sewell. Kicks down towards half forward. Franklin immediately in the action, reaching over the top. Roughhead almost emerges with the football. Now it's spilt out. Well worked by Milburn. They'll run it out. Joel Corey gave it across to support, and the kick is a beauty from Bartell onto the chest of Chapman. Chapman just backward of centre wing towards half forward. Guerra will need to go here. Meeting the sandwich. Selwood tried to knock it forward, taken by Hodge. in characteristic fashion, goes in short. Roughhead sweeps one out wide. Here's a chance. Bateman to Young. Best on ground to half-time in the grand final. No one goes to him. Splits the indifference and splits the middle. Or does he? Behind. Hit the post.
Those 60-metre kicks are really... And he can really kick the ball a long way, very accurate from long distance.
Gee, what are the odds that we had a poster to start last night and a poster to start tonight with Richo? You'll notice the clock counting up here. There's a problem with the clock here at the stadium. So it'll count up for the first quarter, we've been told.
We had Joel, talking about Joel Selwood before the game. Saw him go back with a flight in that first contest here. And both Selwood and Ablett, who got up a little gingerly from that contest.
Holding, play on.
So Ottens and then Tuck and then Chapman. Ling searching for it. Hamble okay. Ablett fends off Dew and then what about Tell? Boundary throw in. So both Franklin and Roughhead on the 50-metre arcs at the moment. And Campbell Brown playing the full forward role.
Otten's in front, over the top, Tuck won it down. Mitchell cleverly didn't have the football, no free kick. Picked up by Ablett, attracts a crowd. Ball up from umpire Ryan.
Travis Tuck's worth keeping an eye on. He's been third man up the last two contests. Obviously a tactic that Hawthorn are trying to go in with to negate perhaps Otten's aerial strength in the ruck against Taylor.
Joel Corey loves doing that too. Otten's being held.
Simon Taylor.
Oh, apparently not.
You're holding from the back. You're holding a big fistful of jumper, Brad.
Well, Taylor's got the free kick.
Bateman heard the umpy, not 15 now. Ottens gets a second crack to Kelly, and then Kelly's handball to Chapman. Chapman to Selwood. Good tackle by Williams. Ball out. Mitchell's hands were terrific to Birchall. And then Bateman arches his back and bounces. He kicked a great goal in the grand final doing something similar. His kick inside 50. Corey.
Holding on. Holding on.
It's interesting, we thought with Hawthorn's deficiencies down back that Campbell Brown would have to play down there, but he's lined up in the forward pocket.
So Ablett gets to Ottens at centre wing.
He started well. Well, having said that, of course. Behind Selwood, slip taken high. The slip sort of helped him.
And Selwood's not getting up straight away. You know that he's hurt.
He doesn't look well.
You're reported, okay? Yeah, you're reported for putting your knee into his head.
Self-explanatory. And Selwood's in a bad way. Not sure it was the knee. It might have been the high tackle. Lost his balance. Smacked across the head, then kneed in the head.
He doesn't really know where he is, does he? No idea.
As you said, for him to go down and stay down, something happened. Ablett, uncharacteristically, hangs it out to the right, kicks it behind.
So Rook comes on. Mitchell quickly plays on. Osborne playing his 100th tonight. What a good year he had last year. A goal kicking here. Terrific kick to Williams. So Hawthorn, this transition's been impressive.
Geelong played a full ground zone from the kick in, and if you can actually maintain possession for the second kick, then all of a sudden you've got forwards on their own.
Goes to Franklin, and then Buddy to the top of the square. Roughhead at the back, three cats against him. Mackie takes Rioli on, drops it. He's gone.
Once the tackle was late, just let it go with your other hand.
It's been a revelation, hasn't it, Rioli? His ability to kick goals and be a dangerous offensive player is remarkable. But here, let's have a look at just this contact. I think that was the one that hurt. The first one, not the 50-metre penalty. Oh, that's it. But Rioli's tackling pressure in the forward line. Once you get one arm, he's got no chance. Mackie, once Rioli had that right arm pinned.
Wasn't so accurate from set shots last year. He played more games than any other debutant. 7 played 20 or more. He played 25 for the Hawks, and he's just pushed it away. It's a lazy-looking kick, isn't it? Nothing lazy about the way he plays his footy.
No, he only has to get involved in 10 or 12 contests, and he has a real influence.
Ablett gave it back to Scarlett, to Taylor. Runs up to the defensive 50, finds Chapman. Confronted by Guerra. That's a clever kick, a beautiful kick under pressure. Rook, who started on the bench, swings it down towards half forward. Lured under the ball was Young. It runs behind. Advantage is paid. Ottens to Corey, 2-on-1, 3-on-2. As the ball dances down towards the pocket. Taken there by Mooney. Spots Gamble, open square, runs in, kicks the goal.
So Gamble, the only man not to have played in the grand final for the Cats, as Tom Harley, his captain. Mooney, #1 in assists in the AFL last year, starts well.
They love sharing the ball in the forward 50. They don't like taking difficult shots. They want to bring their teammates into it. And I think he was having a score-assist contest with Steve Johnson last year, and he got up.
Just a reminder, the clock counting up. There's a problem with the clock in the stadium. So 7.5 minutes into the opening term, Geelong get the first goal against the Hawks.
Play on.
Ottens wins the tap. Ablett busy. Bartel. Rioli so quick to get onto him. Ottens, and then Rioli again smothers Ablett, who fixes his own footy. Back to Johnson. Back to Ablett. They got the big possessions in the grand final. They had 68 between them. That's a soft miss there. Gets back though. Does Lonigan. Back to Johnson. Tries to weave some magic. Kicks to the pocket. Getting back Reniff. Handball okay. Back to Suckling. Pressure, pressure, pressure. Gone, I'd say. Hodge almost. Little give by Mooney. Is it another one? Stokes, not quite.
In a phone box right there.
See what happens here. Both sides have had the 18-man zone, and both times the opposition team has, from the kick-out, found their way into the forward 50.
Not off, not off.
This is Young.
Play on.
Little chip to the defensive 50, taken by Bateman. Suckling. Nice kick. Took something off it. Williams.
Let him run, let him run.
Played well in the grand final. The defensive side of the wing got 3 goals on the big day. Towards half forward. There's one of the men they've come to see. Franklin away, but on his right foot down towards full forward. Up one-handed, Roughhead falls behind. Sliding in right, did well brilliantly. Chapman, Corey. They come out the other way.
Lee, you were talking about getting through the zone. Well, not only are they good defensively, but they're probably the 2 best teams with the ball in hand. Their skills are very sharp. Hawthorn where they're kicking, and Geelong predominantly with their run and carry.
Ottens to Kelly.
So quick with their hands.
Mackey kicks inside the forward 50, bounces obligingly. Lonigan almost a throw. Comes to Johnson. 45 metres out. In front, Gamble. Now, Nathan and I have discussed this young man quite a bit in recent weeks. He was the man who missed out last season. Part of the problem was Geelong were eliminated from the finals in the VFL, but certainly he's a player that warrants consideration. He's a key for them this year. He's lining up at his second. Every time we see him play, he does nothing but kick goals. And he comes. Hits the post. Sometimes he hits the post when we see him play.
We're wondering what Geelong would do without Hunt and Harley, both missing tonight out of their defence. Joel Corey's been put in to their back 6, so that's an interesting call. He's been such a dominant player for them as part of their midfield core.
And Gamble played 6 of the last 7 home and away games last year, but didn't play a final. And he did make a mark, didn't he, in round 1 against Port Adelaide when we saw him in the 07 replay.
He looks like a good third tall, not key position player, but a marking, floating third tall.
Blake front spot.
Got him across the head. Geelong free kick.
I think the interesting one,
ruck infringement.
Corey and Bartel are the Geelong midfielders that might play centre back. They've got Chapman, Ablett, Johnson, who are probably centre forward midfielders, and they've got a great mix of both.
Gamble was the second man up there. Johnson's quick hands. Ottens cleverly enough. Now Kelly gets it from Chapman, and Young's got hold.
That's it. Play on.
And Young wide. So just repeating, there is a problem with the clock in the stadium here. So counting it up here in the opening term. Just over 11 minutes gone.
So far, Ottens has been terrific.
Thanks, Max.
Stokes, lead inclusion, comes out very wide. Stewie Dew had it punched away brilliantly by Bartel. How did he find that? He was running with his back to the football, to Milburn, runs beyond the wing, 2-on-1 once more, getting in behind the zone. Here's Rook, slips a hand pass away. Gamble stops on a dime, goes short looking for Johnson. Mitchell got back and did what Bartell did only better moments ago. To midfield, Tuck's got it now. Who's moving for him? There's run on the outer side. Williams is leading back to space. Checks off the ball. Well played, Williams. Well done, Mackie. Was that in the back? I think it was.
There's a lot of space in Hawthorn's forward line. Geelong are really pushing up when the ball's inside their forward 50, trying to close it in and lock it in. But when Hawthorn get through the middle and get it out, their quick, elusive forwards are getting a lot of space.
So Whitecross, first game at the back of Johnson. And Johnson will run away from Taylor here, or Renifin kicked off for centre-half forward. Great kick and Gamble again.
Good play. That's the second brilliant kick we've seen from Steve Johnson. We shouldn't be surprised. The little left foot around the corner kick to Gamble for his last shot and goal was brilliant because he had 1 or 2 seconds to sum it up. On this occasion, a bit more time and space. Just weights it perfectly to his advantage.
So Gamble, who got the opening goal of the match. He's hit the post on another occasion, and this time he sprays. So he's had 3 good opportunities. And we know how Geelong were inaccurate in September last year. They were pretty inaccurate against the Hawks in the other game they played as well. They kicked 12-16 when they beat them by 11 points on the Friday night.
You've got to take your chances. Doesn't matter what game it is. You don't get that many of them, you've got to take them.
This is Murphy, got it from Tuck, drives it up towards the wing. Taylor made for the man coming from the side, Milburn. Down goes Mackie, Selwood back in the action, and wouldn't you know it, head down, but maybe not thinking straight there, just threw it out of the pack, gives away a free kick.
Cameron Link's taking Brad Sill. Normally Cameron Link takes Sam Mitchell. But that's a big compliment to Brad Searle.
And this one here, Bateman's Selwood, is a repeat of the grand final matchup as well.
Went off to Bateman inside the forward 50 with precision. What a beautiful kick. Lowered his eyes. And Osborne has taken the mark about 30 metres out.
John go round the back.
A new look, Chance Bateman.
Michael, that's your angle.
Well, he wasn't groggy. You can see he had no option there. Chinese burn. So Osborne coming off a terrific season last year. Kicks from about 35, hangs it out to the right, but it's good enough. Sneaks in.
$11 goals won last year from set shots, Osborne, so he's been a terrific converter. You notice that the clock now is counting down, so 10 minutes to go in the opening term. So Hawthorn have done well here because the Cats have dominated a lot of this opening quarter, and yet they lead it by just the 3. Taylor went right at Blake. Got something in common, those two. Both missing out on premierships after playing most of the season. Blake in 07 and Taylor last year.
We saw Geelong use different tactics 2 weeks ago against Collingwood in the NAB Cup final. They wouldn't let Ling go to play as a halfback flanker on Swan. Well, they have changed it up with that matchup, trying to close down on Sewell, giving the opposition in Hawthorn something different to look at.
Well, both Sewell and Mitchell aren't really good permanent forwards. They want to be around the middle.
And Sewell was the one that won the first ball there, and Franklin's got it.
Geez, those hands are a long way up when he jumps and from that front position. It must be about 10 foot in the air.
Well, he had good hang time, didn't he? And he got up very high, and Scarlett was defenceless.
Well, it doesn't matter who you are, and Scarlett's the best defender in the competition consistently the last 3 or 4 years, but nowhere near that. You can't chop the arms anymore.
So 67-51 from set shots for Buddy last year. He's rode it hard. And through for behind.
Mark's fine there, Jared. No closer.
The Geelong starting in their kick out, starting with numbers through the middle of the corridor. Hawthorn squeezing in on the zone, but Johnson pushing up from half forward to find some space.
Backed up against the boundary line, forced to come back to the pocket, and the man that kicked it to him, Milburn, Lance Franklin. Wonderful kick moments ago. Wait for distance.
And now Geelong are in a little bit of trouble because once you got the zone in place and they're deep on the full back line, it's now very, very hard to get it out across the centre of the ground. They're going to have to be really precise with their ball use.
Ablett, exactly that, finds Bartell. This time last season, when we spoke of rolling zones, we thought of Mick Jagger.
It's a brave kick, but he made it.
Selwood, a beautiful kick to the other side wing. Johnson's away moments ago, had it in the back pocket, takes something off the kick, and Varco comes to the ball and marks directly in front, 30 metres out.
They all came from Bartel's bravery and his skill to be able to look inside and drill the ball from outside into the centre square, and that just opened it up.
Selwood's just one of those blokes that just keeps getting hit, doesn't he?
Attracting attention.
He puts himself in that position often, though.
It looks good. Varco gets the goal.
So a couple of the Geelong youngsters, they're a very experienced team, but Varco and Gamble, their goal scorers in this opening term. So the Cats doubling Hawthorn's score in a low-scoring opening term so far. Ling brought down, hard tackle from Dew. Push forward by Tuck. Mackie had to keep his eye on the foot. He did well, and then a contest.
Dragged it in, holding the ball. Dragged it in. Geelong free kick. Once you drag it in, you're gone. You must knock it out immediately. Play on.
So Ablett gets hold of it from Enright. Selwood. Elusive, and then getting back. Kelly's little one from Ottens, and then Kelly's kicks a beauty to Scarlett, and then Scarlett with a lovely looking kick again to Mooney. So Mooney will go short. Stokes wasn't such a good option, but Stokes good enough to win the footy back, and then within range at 45 metres. Taylor back.
Okay.
I think we understand as like deliberate, as we say. No doubt he knew what he was doing. When the ball's in the air and there's a marking contest, potentially those side of things are going to be allowed, I think, according to the spirit of the rule.
We're up. A wayward kick in. Scarlett knocked it forward. Over the football is Birchall. Over him is Mooney playing first up. And he gets a free kick for holding the ball against the Tasmanian. Play on's the call. Back to Scarlett. Back to Mooney. Mooney from about 75 metres out. Low and hard. Falling to the ground. Guerra coming over the top. Johnson. And that ball is locked in. Suckling falls on top of them, holding the ball. Well, he must have reefed it in. No other explanation. Well, you have to make an attempt, says the umpire.
Three holding the ball
the same thing.
At least they're consistent.
No, didn't you play for that? Played for that. Come out, guys. Stewie, come out with him.
Johnson, 34 possessions in the grand final. Some said it was a quiet 34. From the Prentice school. He kicks from 55. That's a tough call. And he hangs it out to the right behind. Tim?
One area the Cats have improved in the last 6 months is their organisation in their forward line. They took the ball in the grand final a lot of times last year, but they weren't able to score or hit targets. Tonight already you've seen them just pick off the Hawthorn defenders, and they're doing it particularly well, although they haven't been able to put the score up on the board.
So they've missed a few, haven't they, Tim? So Johnson missing a chance. Campbell's missed a couple. That was a cornerstone of an article you wrote, Bucks, last week. That
No need.
That their big problem was Geelong.
Holding Geelong.
Geelong's big problem was the way they brought the ball into the 50 in the grand final.
Yeah, well, there's no doubt, and Luke Hodge had a big part to play in that. It seems that he hasn't really been able to have as much effect on the game so far.
Ottens to Chapman has gone very wide, and Guerra was able to pick off Johnson.
Gang tackling, something that Hawthorn do very well, and just a little bit keen there by Taylor.
Gee, that's almost a mugging, isn't it?
He'd have a hefty wallet too. Down goes Rioli. Suckling fell over. Ablett squeezes a kick out, takes a deflection, but the out of bounds on the full goes against Ablett. Obviously the deflection across the line.
And we said Hodge has not been able to be as dominant or as dangerous. Max Rook is matched up on him at the moment. It's not so much that Hodge doesn't get in the right spots, that Rook is keeping him busy in other areas of the field, and he just can't get across that extra 10 metres to influence the contest.
That was Schoenmakers who was tackled. Ablett working a little 1-2 around the outer side. Again kicks to the pocket, close to the boundary line. Mooney kept it in, not sure why. Well, gets a bit of fortune. It was out of bounds. Moments ago, it was interesting looking on the forward line for Hawthorn. Their deepest forward, if you're wondering why you haven't seen much of their skipper tonight so far, it's because he was deep in attack. In a forward pocket as Joel Corey kicks back across the face. Rook can't find the football. Varco May in the pocket. Comes back Mackie. Snaps and puts it through.
So the hard-running Mackie and a bloke I'd love to be defending with him, Josh Hunt, sitting it out for the year. So terrible luck for him. Just Rook's physical presence. We saw it against Brad Johnson in that final last year, didn't we? With that disputed free kick.
Every game he plays, Bruce, he plays with that physical intensity.
What Geelong seem to be doing is trying to bunch their forwards around the part of the ground that Hodge likes to control, that 15 metres out, and then there's at least contests when they go into that part of the ground and they can move away from it.
It's a good-looking kick by Gamble. It's a goal.
Basically to explain that, Hodge likes to set up about 25 metres out from goal in the centre corridor, and Geelong are just getting 4 or 5 of their forwards all in that same part of the ground. So at least there's then outside space for them to move into when the ball comes into the forward line. At the moment, that's working very well for them.
Missed the 2 easy ones and then kicked the goal early. 2 points from easy set shots, and Jags this one. Very impressive shot at goal, and I think it's because Den didn't mention anything.
We can tell you too that Gary Ablett's on world record pace. He's got 15 possessions, so we've still got a few minutes to go till quarter time. What's that, 4? Don't forget we're counting down with the clock now. We were counting up. Just imagine if they did that at Cape Canaveral. That would get the attention of those astronauts. Let the sucker go. We've got to bounce alongside the centre circles. Schoenmakers making his debut, young South Australian. Umpire Wen. Dew tentatively at the ball, knocked down by Taylor.
Knock it out.
And that ball's not coming out.
Holding the ball,
wow.
you dragged it back in. And tackle
Jimmy
legally.
Bartell pleads his case, nothing doing.
Right.
Gee, they've been hot on that tonight.
That's it there, Jim.
Where am I going?
Bartell hit him with a tackle pretty hard about 30 seconds ago.
That's the rule du jour today. Mitchell, long kick down towards the pocket. Taylor needs to come back hard. Couldn't get there. Just checked off the ball brilliantly by Roughhead. Put him off balance, and then Roughhead took the mark.
It's the advantage the forward should have. All the forward has to do is watch the footy. But the defender, Taylor, had to know where the footy was and try and get to Roughhead's body, which gives that forward, it should give him that 20% advantage that Roughhead was good enough to make work.
Roughhead from about 30 metres puts it through. Beautiful kick.
So 75 goals last year on the back of Franklin's 113. Spectacular mark and a terrific finish. So the Hawks stay in touch here at 14 to 30. 10 scoring shots to 4.
Just a throw.
And Bartell was on the end of it, and a great kick.
And that was Hodges. Mooney was actually Hodges' direct opponent in that forward setup. Another Hawthorn player went to Rook. Hodge was sitting off Mooney, and they were able to get it in there quickly, and Hodge was nowhere to be seen.
So Mooney straight in front. Gee, he's missed it. Well, we know what happened in the grand final after his brilliant start, but you'd expect he'd finish that one off. Here's Suckling. Good kick. First game for him to Birchall.
Lays it off to Young. 3 left-footers in a row. Well, he doesn't get a kick, as it turns out. Selwood got the crumb. Blake, Corey, Across the ground, Kelly. Bartel is cruising past outside. He's ignored, and the short one goes to Varco. Cats everywhere. They outnumber the Hawks deep in their forward line, if you look back on that shot.
They've always been a very hard-running side. When they get the ball in their hands, they move it quickly. They work very hard off the ball into position. And, yep, they're putting the Hawthorn defence to the sword.
Varco.
Except for their kicking.
Well, shades of last year's grand final in the first term.
They've missed at least 5 set shots in this opening term. 6 in total. 6 set shots they've missed, and all you'd say better than a 50% chance of getting them from where they took it from.
Some fool said about this stage of the grand final, Bruce, if Geelong had left 60 inside 50s, they'd probably win, and they didn't. But they're heading for 60 inside 50s again. I think they will win tonight if they get that many.
So Selwood floating it to centre half forward. Bartel and Stokes. Wojcinski. And Corey. Dew couldn't quite trap it, and then Stokes went without it. Bartel gang tackled.
I've never seen so many holding the balls in about 10 minutes of play in my life.
Yeah. Dew might be in trouble here. He's hobbling a bit. He's still able to kick it wide. So the Hawks, you reckon, with one good last effort here.
Where was the prior opportunity in that last lock? On the outer side, Franklin bursting through, kicks towards the pocket, coming up on the lead. It's taken by Williams.
He'll come inside.
Williams just drops it over the top towards Franklin. Outnumbered, juggles. Got a problem now. He's over the football. It trickles out of bounds. There's no whistle as yet. It clearly went out of bounds.
Not deliberate.
Lance Franklin, who booted 6 in round 1 last season against those hapless Demons. We've got a bounce. I think you'll find the ball did go out. That was Franklin thinking it did too. There's Dew! Oh.
I think he's all right.
They wanted it out, and then, of course, they got the bounce. They didn't want it out.
So a remarkable effort here by Dew. I mean, from nothing, nowhere, he conjures that. And this scoreboard suddenly has a familiar look about last year's grand final. I know it's early days.
Had all the chances, Geelong, but haven't been able to make the most of it at this point.
Well, what a story he was in last year's grand final. It's 3 goals to 4-8 at quarter time. This is Friday Night Footy.
12 points. Start of the second term on Friday Night Football. Ottens hooks it down behind. Selwood lost it. Ling kicks it very high. Not 15, barely 5. Comes across towards Bateman. Could have been held without it. Well done by Tuck on his knees. Chance there for Ablett. Spilt to Kelly. Gave it to Bartel. Hurried down towards half forward. Beats Mooney on the bounce. Lurking behind Lonigan. Gets right into the back of Murphy. And Murphy wins a soft free kick. Comes to Birchall. Will come to Guerra. Now there's movement from Franklin. 2-on-1, running hard to the boundary. Goes the longer option. Closing quickly as Scarlett. Able to knock it away from Williams. Lurking behind Franklin. Not a bad lurker. Goes in short. Stretching Osborne. Couldn't reach it. Knocked away by Milburn. Comes back to the lurker. Franklin worked out of it. Taken by Bartel. Head passes towards half forward. Hitting the football hard is Mitchell. Looks back towards the middle. Beautiful kick. Onto the chest of Rioli. Releases Young. He's a long kick. That's a magnificent, magnificent kick. Demanded something of Roughhead. He put it about 15 metres in front to space, and Roughhead came and found it.
Well, if he had eyes on the side of his head, he would have seen Stuart Dew on his own about 40 metres out, but I reckon this is nearly a better position.
So Roughhead, Robin Roughhead to Buddy Batman last year, comes in and misses. Son of a gun.
Scott Katasia, it's a fantastic ability what Young was able to do is to put the ball where his teammate had to go to. A lot of players tend to just not judge how quickly and how much ground a forward can cover on full bore out of the goal square.
So this is an interesting part for Geelong this year. Hunt would have done most of the kicking in over the...
Yeah, and it's a very specialist job. A lot of pressure on the kicker these days.
Guerra went early. Enright stood his ground. Clever handball. And Tuck held up well, I reckon, in the tackle. That was good play. And then Guerra, that's a cheeky kick. Dangerous held. Fantastic. Mitchell calling for some support. Gets it from Murphy. Handball okay. Chance to set up. Young, who was so good in that grand final early. Guerra. Osborne kicked a goal in the opening term, playing his 100th game tonight. Concedes some ground to Birchall. Guerra, crowd let him know they were coming. Dew, good kick wide. Here's Whitecross in his first match. Just too tall for Bateman. It was an easy target, and he just kicked it a little too tall for the running centreman.
You can tell it's Whitecross's first game. Just a little bit eager. He's gone into a couple of Geelong defenders' backs, just a bit keen, and that kick as well.
Williams pops it up. Osborne steps around Milburn. Two veterans. Number 7 prevail.
He normally reads the ball pretty well, Milburn. Most of the time, he'll just go at the footy and back that he'll judge the ball better than his opponent. But he waited to try and find Osborne, and then Osborne pretty simply just stepped around him.
There's no coming back when you go back and miss. Didn't find contact and pays the price.
Hawks have kicked the last 3 goals of the match. There's Buddy and Scarlett, so Franklin and Scarlett, pivotal duel tonight. Franklin without a goal, but he's been busy enough, but he's roamed far and wide. Ablett run down, Saul put him down hard. Guerra, Mitchell's been sharp. Birchall, Bateman very good. Left foot is brilliant. Magnificent kick to the running Rioli, and then Rioli off one step, rough head at the back. Probably should have taken it in the end, was Brown. He got it very high. Got a bit surprised, I think, and then Corey. And Corey's kick to the centre's very good.
Frontal interference. Free kick. It's a free kick. Frontal interference.
Gee, Jude, probably a bit stiff, I reckon. He trying to put Ottens off his game. Now Johnson.
Hey.
Talk about strong Selwood. That was a clean and jerk on Dew. Ablett, gamble. Clever, was it touched? It was. Hand pass from Lonergan taken by Johnson. Had plenty of the football. That's a beautiful finish.
Just the ability to do...
fantastic, and
it looks simple, but it was difficult. Gary Ablett's centre of gravity is so low that he was able to keep that ball in, as we see here. The figure 4 leg lock. It could have been 10, I'm not sure, but...
have a look at this one of Johnson. Just the ability to weigh it up. Got one instant. Is there a teammate on? Is there not a teammate on? Best chance, a 40-metre left foot round the corner.
So a bit of magic from both Johnson there to finish and from Ablett to conjure it from the boundary line when it seemingly was going to go out of bounds.
Well, they're both on song very early in the season.
So the Cats restore their good lead.
Didn't take him high. High ball.
Bateman was the man in question there, not taken high.
Ground's chopped up here, throw it up.
Otten's got a good run at it. Wojcinski and Chapman. Chapman's handball. Kelly onto it, and then back to Taylor. Harry Taylor. What a fine first year he had. Kicked into a contest. Chapman was quick to put the tackle on there on Renouf. And the Cats and the Hawks at it here.
Mine.
It's no surprise that these two teams are the best teams, as you see.
Osborne
limping off here. He's hurt his ankle. The trainer said that he's no good at all. But
hold of the arm before he got it.
they're good. They're good defensively. They're good with the ball in their hands, but they're also the hardest team around the stoppage as well. These two teams are so far clear of everyone at the moment.
Well, that's a huge blow with Osborne coming off the ground. 100th game tonight. Kicked a couple of important goals.
Lonergan's hand pass wayward. Tuck falling to the ground. Gave it to Hodge. Mitchell getting busy now. Weir's got it. Bateman is running. He's got the ball backward of the wing. Breaking hard is Williams. Ignores that. Comes back to the corridor. And Dew takes the mark. Is it 50? No, plays on immediately. Long telling kick. Franklin! Oh, hands to it, couldn't hang on. Didn't stick the landing, that hurt. Opportunity for Corey meantime. Clever hand pass to Ling. We've got a whistle.
Dragged him down like... Yours!
And that, I think, is the new rule preventing a player running on.
I think they'd be hoping Hawthorn the moment Franklin just winded himself a bit, knocked the stuffing out of him.
I think he landed on his right.
You ruled dragged him down after you got rid of it.
I said that.
Joel, just here.
It's all happening. This is Osborne's injury. Saw him go down in the foreground. Franklin seems to be okay. Chapman kicks towards half forward and finds Kelly.
Sully, clear it out.
Kelly, who missed the grand final of the NAB Cup.
Be very unhappy with himself, Simon Taylor. He's coming off to interchange now, but he was back in the back 50, but he just allowed Hodge to move into the hole.
So Ottens to have the shot.
Where he's marked it, yep, thanks. Thanks, Brad, perfect. You've had 20 seconds, must kick now within 10.
So the pressure on now to deliver. He missed the first 9 games last year, Ottens. And hooks it from behind. Wonder if he was watching his old team last night, thinking, gee, I'm glad I'm at Geelong.
He would have been last night anyway. And the last day of September last year, or the last Saturday in September.
There's Bartel with a run of it. Didn't take his eye off the football. Well done. Enright, Ling, Corey. U-turn, still inside the centre square. Precision kick. Marked by Kelly. Rioli missed him. Kelly goes long down towards full forward. Mooney, Ablett in from the side. Couldn't hang on. Stokes gets the crumb and misses.
When you got to go in the air. Ablett did that, and Stokes here came at Bartel so hard, but hard body of Bartel was able to put him over.
Bartel was wonderful. And now 50 against this man. Hawthorn to midfield.
So Johnson playing on after the free kick. Maybe a bit of tunnelling, and Johnson actually kicked the goal on his left foot, as you think he would, but it is a 50. So the Hawks to try and build here. They're one man down. Mitchell got a high one.
Got him over the neck.
It's a fine line between aggression and giving free kicks away.
Mitchell for Franklin, and Scarlett, and Buddy was brilliant.
Good contest, wasn't it? A fantastic defender, a fantastic forward. And Scarlett really did it almost all that was humanly possible, but Franklin just protected the drop zone just slightly well enough to come away from it. That was really terrific body play by both players.
And a heck of a kick too, wasn't it?
Speaking of heck of kicks, look at that.
Heck.
You beauty, Buddy.
I think that's his favourite side. He
channel, isn't it?
He basically, he's a left foot kick, but he actually draws the ball from right to left when he's looking at the goal. So when he's on this side of the field, he tends to aim at the right post, and basically in flight, normally the ball just straightens up. That is almost his best percentage accuracy pocket, I would have thought, from out there.
And that's why they've always got a chance, I reckon, Hawthorn, when Franklin and Ruffin are playing. You've always got a chance.
Now, I don't like to tell tales out of school, but Buddy Franklin spent a little bit of time with Dennis and myself over the summer months recording an ad, and Dennis did take him to the side for about 5 minutes, and he looked like he was instructing him on how to kick properly.
He's a willing pupil too, as Tuck goes back to Suckling. Mitchell, who kicked that ball to Franklin. Marvellous kick. Young forward. Hodge storming. Goes to half forward. Well done by Scarlett. Loose ball at the back. Timely fist arriving quickly, as is his forte. Wojcinski charged down by Franklin, and the ball goes out of bounds. Certainly Sam Mitchell is coming to task with this game now, getting a lot of possession. He's up to 11. There's Franklin running hard on the forward line. Off hands. Williams smothered. Ricochets back towards half back. Kelly. It's a hand pass to Wojcinski. Selwood has been terrific. It's going to be a free kick to Wojcinski.
Just calm down, mate, okay? You're really, you're just on that edge. Just calm down. I don't want to... Play on.
Ablett.
Kelly just ran away from him.
Blake, Selwood, lack of talking. Blake was only about 10 metres away. Selwood run down. Mitchell again releases the ball to Williams, runs in and misses, hits the post. Well, Sam Mitchell just singing his praises. He averaged 28 possessions a game last season. There he is, up from 26 in 2007, 27 in 06. He's like a metronome, and that's without the G. In the pocket, Enright's got the football, and the margin is 6 points.
Cameron Ling will normally take Mitchell, but not tonight so far.
So Scala got it in short. Again, we saw Rioli a moment ago. His ability to run people down in the forward half of Hawthorn is such a factor. Ablett did well. In fact, committing himself there was Bateman, and Ablett was away. Well-weighted kick. Missed by Gamble. Brown. Taylor. Gee, took a chance, but did well in the end. Got away from Stokes, and then Murphy. Now, the kid wasn't sure then, showing Marcus, whether it was his footy or not. And Wojcinski's a hard man to run down. And he arches his back and takes the bounce. Showing Marcus has a crack at him again, can't quite. And then Corey off one step, gets to Mooney. And Geelong big winners out of all of that.
Well, he showed some toe showmakers, didn't he? Because Wojcinski looked like he was past him, but put the clamps on and put him under great pressure. Mitchell's actually going head-to-head with Selwood at the moment, and we've got two hard bodies there, really hitting in hard at the clearances.
So Mooney missed a pretty easy one in the opening term. That's a better looking kick, and again, I think for the fourth time tonight, a poster.
I wonder if you just start to get anxious if you're Geelong. All of a sudden we're earning the shots, but we just can't quite take them.
Tim, 1 goal 8 the Cats from set shots tonight.
Yes, also we're unlikely to see Michael Osborne out here again tonight. He looks to have strained his left hamstring, so bad news for the Hawks.
Hodge goes short, tucks away alongside the centre circles. Terrible kick, bounces out towards right half back. Williams got into his move. Mackey, well, that's the way to hood a Hawk. And there's going to be a free kick to Mackey. That is smart thinking. Meantime, back at the game, the kick across the ground is taken by Rioli, so only a short-term advantage there for the Cats, and now it's with Chance Bateman.
They play brave football, Geelong, but Mackey had to kick the ball 50 metres to get over the head of Rioli. There was a Geelong player another 20 metres behind Rioli. It was a brave kick, but didn't make it.
The Hawks are looking pretty good, don't worry about that. And this helps their cause. Bateman from long range.
There was a lot of doubt about whether Hawthorn were going to be able to maintain their performance with so many young players in, but their structure and role playing has allowed them to do so far tonight.
Stokes tried to fend off Sewell, not an easy task, and Ablett was brilliant to Stokes, to Selwood. Gee, they did well there. And then Johnson demanding Stokes to run to Selwood. This would be a great team goal. Doesn't quite finish it.
Gee whiz.
Tell me, Dennis, what happened?
Well, there's a Geelong player down, and I don't think Geelong will be happy about that. They're not happy about that. And I would say rightly so.
Good come out of this.
There was a bit of aggression or retaliation, and they've just decided to let it play on.
I think Hodge hit Stokes, and he was actually standing over the top of him, making sure he was all right after he hit him. With a bump.
And then Steve Johnson. Well, we're trying to have a look at Hodge. We might have caught that little bit of action that was a long way from the footy.
Thanks, mate.
Watch this space.
Well, Johnson came over to remonstrate, and then Hodge didn't like it, and then I think there was a little bit of to-do there.
After the boundary throw in, Kelly did well. Knocks it towards the boundary line. Mitchell kept it in. Ablett pushed him out, and the ball spills out in the boundary throw in.
Stokes actually went to ground. Hodge tried to get out of his way, but I think the knee went right into the buttock, and that one looked like it missed.
Also, he knew he was hurting. He didn't quite know what contact was made.
And you know, the other thing that happened there, Selwood missed another chance. I mean, Geelong continue to kick points.
They do. At least we know they're scoring shots. They're not rushed behinds just to confuse about how many shots you have in stats.
So it's 17-10 at the moment.
It was going to be a free kick, but the umpire, Hawthorn, had the footy, so they chose to let play continue.
A couple of Norm Smith medalists at it.
I think one of them got a blood nose.
Sorry, Sam, but play had stopped. Play had stopped.
But the momentum shifted a bit, hasn't it, in the last 15 minutes or so?
There's a bit of feeling in there.
Gee, Jeff Kennett's got a lot to answer for, hasn't he?
Hasn't he?
So here is Hodge, raking kick, wide, Kelly and Rioli. Now the foot race, Kelly having to concede, but he did well, and then Ottens to get down low, and Rioli gives away the free.
When you mentioned foot race, I know who was going to win it, but he was able to stay in the contest long enough to get help, Kelly.
Kelly had to make it as short a foot race as he possibly could.
Here's Gamble, a long way down the ground at right half back, deprived of options. Cats by just 2 points. They led by 12 at quarter time. Rooks in front, pushed in the back. He'll get a free kick. And the umpire suddenly want to pay free kick, so the spot to be is first in and in front. Chapman comes to the ball, forward of the wing, looks down towards half forward. Varco's on the move. He was interfered with. He'll get a free kick. Comes to Lonigan now, taken off his boot by Johnson. Didn't trust him with the footy, but it's coming back to Varco. So a string of free kicks along the broadcast wing.
I mean, the play was already going back, but Johnson actually took the ball in between Lonigan's hands and his boot when he was trying to kick it.
So Varco will kick from about 55. He's got one. Just sets it up towards the middle. Off hands. Johnson was the target. Otten's the snap. Pulls it back. Wide of the mark. Another behind.
Got some deja vu about it, hasn't it, this game? You just wonder, things aren't really working. This was, he just took the ball out of his hands. He's a genius, isn't he?
Sure is. Mitchell to tuck to Mitchell, having a terrific first half, as Dennis has said, and then quickly onto the boot. Saul and Ling, good battle this one. Saul running away from Ling, now takes him on with strength. Keeps the ball in play, hooks it back. Well done, Saul.
That was an interesting call, even pre-game, for Ling to try and get the Brad Sewell matchup. I mean, you see, what we've seen the last 10 minutes is what Sam Mitchell can do when he's got his rhythm. I'd be very surprised if they don't try and get Ling to try and shut that down.
Well, Mitchell's up to 14 now.
But a terrific ball user, so he makes 14 possessions really count.
Had such a quiet first half, didn't he, in the grand final, and then came back. So Stokes, the inclusion for Gillam tonight. He kicked a couple of goals in the opening round last year. Looks good. They continue to hurt them, and they're in front, believe it or not.
Well, the Hawks have taken control on the ball in this term. Ablett 4 possessions, Bartell 3 and Selwood 2. Mitchell has probably amassed more than those 3 combined. 3 points the difference. 6 minutes to half time. Geelong with a bit of work to do now. Hawthorn undermanned but playing terrifically well. Corey in the centre square trying to help them there. Wojcinski just coughed it up. The hand pass from Renoff. Kick down towards half forward from Guerra. Marked by Milburn, goes to the outer side. Selwood's got the mark. Selwood inside the centre square. Will kick for distance, and Mackey getting in behind the defence. Hodge across though on the angle. Got a fist on it. Johnson goes in with courage. So too Williams. Birchall close to the boundary line. Hodge. Birchall. Now Mitchell again. Outer side slips over. Back to Birchall. Sweeping hand pass. Hodge puts Mackey down if you don't mind. Then coughs it up. Chapman across to Joel Corey. 60 metres out. And he finds space on the zone. Mooney just peeling off.
And now the work starts.
have to be 50-50 at best at this point. The mental demons when you missed a few shots at goal are shockers. At the moment, he's just got to be trying to get a spot behind the goals and just kick to somebody. Drop it on the goal umpire's head, try and forget the goalpost.
So, McCamster, this for the lead. He's got it. A 3-point deficit becomes a 3-point lead.
So Mooney gets that goal. Franklin up on the wing. Rioli at full forward. Jewett centre half forward for the moment. Taylor, Young should get a free. Watkins took him down without the footy. Mackie gets the handball and then goes with a raking shot towards goal.
Lost kicking him low.
And Brown gets back. Look at the irony of that last goal for the Cats was that Hodge, for the first time in the match, is starting to have an impact as that quarterback, but it was he that had coughed the ball up. Young wants Franklin. Couldn't quite take it. Well, there's a bit of magic. Johnson and Franklin together. Johnson back to Mackie, boundary throw in.
Magic Johnson.
Yeah, so when Mackie came through the front of that centre square, we had Stokes, Matthew Stokes was just forward of Cameron Stokes, so was forward of him, and he missed him. There was a certain goal-scoring opportunity.
Just over 4 minutes till half-time. Clever by Ottens down behind. Chapman had it, lost it. Young, tackled by Chapman, down he goes.
Getting my Stokes confused. It was Matthew Stokes, of course. The Geelong Stokes was the Stokes.
Yeah, that's right. Different Stokes for different folks. Look, we've got a bounce about 45 metres out. Taylor, Ottens. They stopped short of the footy. Kelly did well. Milburn released. Kicks to midfield. Stokes. The Geelong Stokes looks across the ground. Varco Ablett is running. Give him the ball. Well done. Runs inside the 50. Goes for home. Mooney in two minds. Lets it go. It's a goal.
What a transitional play there by Geelong. So clean and so quick. And suddenly they're out to 9 points. I think Bomber agrees with us. Doesn't give much away. So Ablett 20 disposals and that goal before half-time. 15 of them coming in the opening term. Taylor taken down, Suckling. Ablett's little handball to Ling. And then Ling had it for a while, but he did well. He held up in the tackle, and then Bartel off one step. So suddenly the Hawks now probably wanting it to be half-time. They made a big run. Mitchell under pressure. Taylor under pressure.
No prior opportunity. Great tackle, no prior op. Gently up, watch your hands.
The four most dominant players on the field at this stage, I think. Ablett obviously just kicked a goal. He's had 21 touches. He and Mitchell in close have been the most dominant players. Steve Johnson with his disposal inside 50, and Ottens in and around the stoppages has given Geelong the edge in that area.
Blake to Johnson, and then Johnson to full forward. And it's a behind.
It's redemption day just at the moment. Matthew Stokes is down there and Hodge is your direct opponent. I think they had nightmares from grand final day on that particular matchup, Geelong. So sure Stokes would be pretty keen to get a goal or two, but make sure that Hodge can't organise that Hawthorn defence.
Birchall going the wrong way, the left footer.
Rush it anymore.
Murphy in trouble. Some non-thinking football there. White cross. Now he hammers it back at Murphy, and here's the dilemma for the umpires.
And that's the one you can use all the time.
Yeah.
That's right.
As long as you've got a teammate standing on the goal line. There's a teammate standing on the goal line, so... And I think the Geelong player might have touched it first anyway.
Saves a Hawthorn player doing the crocodile and letting it go through anyway.
Suckling to tuck. Short Johnson read it best off the boot and beat quality opposition. And he's put down. This ball is offline. Mooney up. Couldn't hang on. Johnson wanted a relayed kick, and I think he may have had a case. He certainly dressed it up, but by the same token there appeared to be late contact.
Gamble pretty disappointed with Johnson there. He's on his own, 30 metres from everybody. Great mark taken by Chapman. Geelong having a good 5 minutes here where they're dominating. To Ling, to Varco, who's been very busy, goes back to Ling, and then Ling centres to Johnson.
Oh, well done.
Well done. He kept his screen up on Hodge and enabled Blake to take the mark.
Not about Varco. I mean, when you're 20 metres from the boundary line, I think you always got to try and come inside. He popped it back outside to to Ling, and Geelong have got the ball, but I think Barco sometimes has to be able to take his chances a little bit and have a shot at goal when it's his turn.
If it's a team roll not to U-turn,
yeah, possibly, I suppose, yeah.
Well, he took the heavy hit there, Johnson, knowing it was coming, and Blake from dead in front, and Geelong suddenly get away.
Yeah, probably right there, Bucks. There, he did have his back to goal, and
they are so keen to share it, aren't they?
Give the ball to each other. Just when you sort of come inside, I guess he hasn't got eyes in the back of his head, has he? We can see that if he turned back inside, he's got an open goal.
And Blake's probably the least aesthetic kick that Geelong have got, but he's been one of the most effective. To be able to take his opportunity 25 metres straight out in front is something that his teammates haven't been able to do.
5 minutes ago, the Hawks led by 3 points. Now it's the Cats by 18 points. Approaching half-time. Alistair Clarkson, the Pied Piper of coaches. Everybody's following him. Getting a bit heated between Hodge and Johnson. Meantime, Mitchell, oblivious to all of that.
Thrown the ground.
Well, there's no advantage there.
Action, thrown the ground, 50 metres, Sam Mitchell.
And by McBurney. Stepping it out.
They're big penalties, the 50s, aren't they? They are big penalties. Almost anywhere you get it, you're like to have a shot.
Hold it. And he let him go. Franklin not having a great night. 6 possessions so far. It's out of bounds. But against quality, Matthew Scarlett. Boundary throw in. Down towards the pocket. 64, plays 46. Blake. Assisted by Milburn. Scarlett to Milburn. Feeds it forward. Wojcinski. Nice kick coming out. Rook. Oh, Ablett in trouble. You won't get past Mitchell. Somehow got the football out. Ling went to ground. Back it comes towards Rook. Went to Ling. It's a cold potato in there. After the football goes Ablett. Back to Ling. Ablett, Ling. And that's not a bad result. Great pressure by the Hawks.
Hawks were 7-3 on that occasion in that little 15-20 metre arc where the ball was being contested. Geelong don't mind that. They can play to a numbers disadvantage with their hands. They do it very well.
Sewell to Young on his wrong side, but he gives Rioli a chance. What a great kick on his wrong foot. To space, and Rioli charged at it. Well, an important kick here. He missed one in the first quarter, Rioli, where he missed the lot.
Doesn't miss very often. He's a really good kick.
Hold the corridor, don't go in.
It's interesting, Roughhead had gone down back for the last minute or two trying to shore it up, and Rioli gets the goal like Jude did at the end of the first quarter. Rioli gets one at the end of the first half. So they hang him, don't they?
Well, Roughhead going back is something that Hawthorn did a lot of last year towards the end of quarters in red time, in time on, which is what the term that a lot of the clubs use. But that's Young's 3rd time that he has put the ball lace out on a teammate's chest inside 50. Twice with the left and then again with the right foot there, and he does kick it to where the player needs to go. He actually directs them to the space.
Both sides now with 7 individual goal scorers. Osborne's got 2 but off the ground. Gamble's got 2 for Geelong. Dying seconds of the first half. Siren imminent. Bateman goes back to Mitchell yet again. Guerra on the siren. It finishes with Young. And it finishes at a very interesting stage. Geelong 8-16-64. Many chances. They've blown plenty. And Hawthorn are 8-4-52 on Friday Night Football.
So the Cats 4 goals 8 in both of the first 2 quarters. So it's 64-52. Buddy's got a goal in that quarter. They'll want more from him. Big half-time coming up here. Talk to Bomber Thompson and Hawk captain Sam Mitchell. This is Friday Night Footy.
Third term starts.
I didn't think I was going to ever get that right.
Ablett flicks it out. Corey's got it. Well, I was hoping you'd say the high mark, because in the first half we had 7 contested marks. 7.
Well, Tim mentioned Matthew Scarlett. He swapped opponents. He seems to have gone to Roughhead, and Harry Taylor has actually gone to Franklin. So that might mean that he's not moving that well, Scarlett.
Renoff knocks it down. Dew in trouble, going nowhere, wrestled down.
You don't like that?
Well,
that's a nice tackle.
Thanks, Jeremy.
Yeah, tackling's good. Tackling's good. Physicality is good. But
I agree with that,
remember,
Dennis, though. The best part of the game is the launch high mark.
Went to the wrong bloke. I hand passed to the wrong bloke.
I had some chance to think about it. That was the only thing.
Tuck,
At least more than I did.
Guerra. I remember, I think the best high mark I ever saw over the years was a guy who played at Fitzroy, Woodville and West Perth, Laurie Richards. He took 7, probably and a half, as the ball goes down towards the pocket. Offhand, spills in front, hitting the pack hard was Corey. Hand pass from Enright was good. Bartel, Milburn, drives it around the outer side, but ill-directed, taken by Birchall.
Squares it up, gets to Renouf, and then to Mitchell.
Nice.
She was interesting kick, and Williams has almost taken a beauty, then tries to throw in Franklin. Taylor should have got a free kick. Stokes just took his eye off it, and he's hurt himself too, young Stokes, I reckon. He's in trouble. Scarlett.
That's quick hands.
Well done, Corey. To Johnson, playing deep, as he did in that grand final. Ling to Gamble, a couple of first quarter goals. Geelong running it hard here. Chapman, Johnson still going hard. Back to Chapman, he'll get it back, I reckon. No, Chappie goes on with it and then goes for goal. Gives it all he's got, and they've got a beauty to start the second half.
So the margin 18 points. Stokes off the ground. A late inclusion came in for Gillum.
Came off the line of the ball a bit.
Yeah, there was a clash of knees with Scarlett. There'd be a bit of bruising there. Scarlett didn't feel it at all.
Now Mitchell is down behind play. Didn't see what happened. He's slow to get up, and he, like Selwood, if he stays down, that hurt.
Who's free kick? Okay. Sam Mitchell, rough conduct on Max Rook. M50. Hang on. Guys,
It's going on the book, I think.
Being off the line, I think.
hold it, Sam. Clear it out, guys.
He's reported Max
Clear
Rook.
it out. Let him go, guys. Let him go.
Well, obviously Sam's good first half didn't go unnoticed. Ball comes out to Bateman, who marks on the wing.
You're one of the umpires saying 50-metre penalty?
Stay out,
I think it was one of the players.
Must have been one of the players. You might be right.
Move it on.
Got to try it on, don't you?
Play on.
I'm guessing Hawthorn. Short one comes in. Sewell's got it.
Yours.
Inside the forward 50. Too much carry on the kick. Roughhead has not been a factor tonight. Kelly. Ablett comes away. Short of the wing. Chapman, who kicked a beautiful running goal. Ablett comes again. Chips just to the wing. Johnson, been so lively. Looks towards the middle. Now that's an interesting kick. Mitchell seems okay and takes the mark.
Back to Guerra, then to Saul as they try to build here. Hawthorn. Saul gets around Johnson, and then kicks to Williams in a one-on, not Williams, Bateman I should say, in a one-on-one with Mackie. Young went to ground, retrieves the footy, running towards the boundary, goes back to Whitecross. Whitecross went to ground, can't quite get the handle away. Ablett snatched it away to Ling. Well done, Bateman. Bash and crash, but Ling is so strong. And then Ablett got it back from Mackie. And the Cats through Milburn. Good kick, good vision. And Ottens has got hold of it at half-back. So Geelong looking pretty good in this passage of play. Corey, it's a slow kick, and now Campbell-Brown. And a big chance here now. Whitecross just hasn't quite been able to get into the rhythm. Mitchell's handball is good.
Sweeping hand pass accommodates Young to Tuck, who's been busy, in trouble. That's holding it. A couple of bad hand passes there.
Geelong free kick.
It's unlike Geelong.
Now. Thanks.
Ottens just before Ottens came outside instead of looking into the centre corridor. They were on over the far side. So Geelong normally always look inside first option.
Stokes towards half forward. Johnson in front. Mitchell knocks it away and tracks it towards the boundary line. Tim.
Thompson's seen enough of Mitchell getting the ball in that second quarter. Cameron Ling, the human clamp, has gone to him now. Sewell's been freed up, and already this quarter we've seen him get a couple of uncontested possessions. So I would think he'll come right into the game now, Brad Sewell.
See Stokes warming up to Tim in front of you. So they're down to 21 at the moment with Osborne out of business. So they need every man they can get, Hawthorn.
Tackled without the ball. Simon Taylor, free kick.
Or Renouf, even. But inside this little bit of play, here, they love throwing the ball around by hand, both of these teams, to try and release the pressure. But the defensive pressure of both in this little area on the near side of the field was just brilliant for the last couple of minutes.
Birchall corral, but he quickly now gets it on. It's the first gamer. Shonemakers. Handball over the top. Birchall. Rook puts a clamp on him, back to Hodge. Hodge on his wrong side with the right footer. Now Young a left foot if he can run on to it. Kept it in play. Bartel with him, and then Young off the ground. Taylor. Williams to put some pressure on him. Kelly just dropped it away.
Still got hold of him. James Kelly, too long.
Well, he played the percentages, Kelly. He released the footy very quickly.
Ablett thinks he's given a out of bounds in the full, but there's a free kick just before.
Got lucky.
It's the first time I've seen him fumble in a couple of years.
Still got his kick away, though.
Come out the back.
Selwood.
Cross half back. Enright. Left half back. On the defensive 50. Now Ling. Between the lines. Half back and centre wing.
Going to go back inside.
Play on's the call. Ling. Ablett. To Taylor. Now Enright is on. Well, he goes shorter. Bartel has it. Kelly is on now. Any number of players on, actually. Mackey's got the ball alongside the centre circles. Hawthorn drifting back. Mackey goes out wide. Will it stay in? Milburn tracks it, can't keep it in. Well, that was an errant kick.
You find in round one, the intensity of round one is such a pickup from the pre-season competition that it's going to be a tough half now for Mitchell.
See Rook coming in from the centre half forward position. Mitchell wasn't ready to receive that one.
Wasn't exactly a mark. Yates, as the ball comes in short, and the mark is taken by Johnson.
It's probably knocked out of his hands in the end. It did look like a drop ball, and then Tuck. Franklin couldn't trap it. He's had a couple of those tonight, but oh gee, Rioli was able to get it with some help from Buddy, and then running Rioli. Stokes back on the ground, should kick the goal, and doesn't.
Oh.
Wasn't
talking about.
I was going to say, yeah, players are getting tired and fatigued. The spaces are opening up. It now becomes very much a keepings off game. Which side can maintain possession, because the defensive pressure has to drop off. Players just get too fatigued when they're in that match conditioning phase.
So a big miss there. They've been pretty accurate compared with the Cats.
There's Rook. In two minds. Short. It's okay. Scarlett. Centre half back. Goes across the ground. Milburn, ample time to recover a fumble. Telling kick. Wojcinski released to space, runs beyond the wing, pinpoints it beautifully. Chapman wheels around, beats Guerra, runs to 50, lines up at goal. He kicked an earlier goal, not this time, but Mooney. Mooney gets on the end of it. 10 metres out, 45-degree angle.
And that's the only look of the Hawthorn defence. It just hasn't worked for them tonight. That little bit of space that they give their Geelong direct opponents, there's been a lot of free targets when they've gone into that forward 50.
Cam Mooney then at his second. That's better.
Essentially, once they get to this 23-point margin, quite often Geelong, when they get to that 3 or 4 goal margin and the pressure just gets released a little bit, then they quite often just completely dominate the game. We saw that in the NAB Grand Final. We've seen it over the last couple of years. Well, they've got the 4-goal margin now, so it'll be interesting now whether they can actually, with that release of pressure, get a bit of precision in their ball skills.
Kicked a couple, Mooney. Geelong have kicked 5 of the last 6, and this is the big margin so far in the match. They got it to 22 points early and now got it to 23. Can they put their foot all over Hawthorn here and win by 8 or 10? That's what they'd want to be doing. The Hawks hang in here. The next 5 minutes critical. Stokes to Ling. Selwood terrific to Enright, straightening up. Well-weighted kick. Here's Rook, straight in front, left foot. He's got it. Geelong bursting away now.
Nice finish. Gary Ablett deep in attack now. There were 7 Cats in the All-Australian team last season. By contrast, Hawthorn, the Premier, just the 2. Good bounce. One down by Blake. Tuck hit the ball hard. Off balance. Sewell. Taylor. Suckling. Goes out wide. Coming across on the angle. Gee, played it well. Punching towards the boundary line. Scarlett. It's all about the angle sometimes. He wasn't attracted to where his man was going. He thought he'd cut him off at the pass, or cut the pass off at the pass. You understand?
I do. He's got great speed, closing speed, and covers the ground very well.
Sewell gets a hand pass away. Falling to the ground, Hodge. Dew. Long ball coming back with courage. Bartell couldn't hang on. Taylor. Kelly. He's been handy around the edges, Kelly. Untidy kick. Chapman started the term brilliantly. Goes back to Blake. Now the Cats are running and finding space. Joel Corey. Game number 177. Bounces it down towards half forward. Sewell turns out of trouble. Some indecision. Need to be careful. Mitchell gets the footy. Bounces it to midfield. Stokes is away.
Reasonably weighted kick too. Wanting Williams to run hard. He does. Franklin brought down on his knees. Back to Williams. And they look tired, Hawthorn. Birchall. They've had to concede here after they had a very promising build-up a moment ago. Suckling. Well, Murphy straight to Blake. This is going to hurt. To Stokes. To Ablett. 30th disposal coming up. Weighted kick to fall forward. Hits a post. Down to you, Tim.
Ryko's trying to steer the ship at the moment too. He's concerned about this run-on from Geelong. Roughhead's been sent down into defence. He's had a quiet night. Maybe that will be a way, in effect, of bringing him into the game.
So his poor record against the Cats continues. Wojcinski on the outer side. Strange kick by Ablett moments ago. Neither one thing nor the other. Little chip over the top, running onto the football. It's taken by Ablett.
The reason for it was his 2-chase effort through the middle here. He'd been actually running flat knacker for about 200 metres. I think he was worried about his accuracy, so he looked for a pass.
Right there, Sam.
Joel Corey. Over the head of Blake. In behind him a teammate Milburn. Enright, now their confidence is on the rise. Rook. Just inside the 50, barely the 15.
As you send a Roughhead back into your back 50, it might minimise the margin, but I'm stop Geelong's run potentially, I guess, but it's going to be very hard to score when he's down the defensive end of the ground. I'd be pretty happy if he was down there if I was Mark Thompson.
Roughhead just the 1 goal tonight. 3 disposals, 2 of them kicks. Rook gets his 2nd goal of the term.
Good man to have on your side, Rook, isn't he? And Tom Harley happy about all of that. It was probably about this time in the 3rd quarter he was begging to get back on the ground in the grand final. Down in the sheds for a lot of the second half.
Block against Mark Blake. Just blocked him. Crossed the line, went past the flight of the ball.
So not much going right for the Hawks in this quarter. They get a free kick there. Bateman running hard. Little kick to Mitchell has been terrific. And then the handball dropped there by Suckling. Back to Mitchell, back to Saul, run down by Rook, having such an impact. Kelly. And now Johnson to Stokes, to Johnson. And then lovely kick to centre half forward. Just couldn't get there, Lonergan. He's had a very quiet night. I reckon Tom Hawkins is probably thinking, well, I might get a chance in the next couple of weeks. Young's kicked to centre wing.
Lonergan actually kickless in Seattle tonight. Just 4 hand passes. That's a poor kick from Mitchell onto the chest of Milburn. Don't know about Tom either. I think Gamble's the boy down there. Still, we'll wait and see what happens. Taylor drives it across the ground. Telling kick. That's the smart. Well, getting in the spot was Roughhead. He knew where the ball was going to land. Around the corner to Franklin. Slow to react, certainly, was Bartell. There goes the kick around the corner from Lance. Not his best work, and it bounces through for a behind.
I came to the footy tonight just to see what Geelong would do about the Luke Hodge, seeing if they dominate the grand final. I don't think they've done anything much different, but they've still been able to generate 29 scoring shots from 33 inside 50 entries, which is quite remarkable. Last grand final was more like 1 out of 3. Tonight it's virtually 90%.
It's a bit like Picasso smudging the paper a moment ago, wasn't it? With Franklin, it was oh so casual. Now here's Roughhead, who could go the distance here.
On the 50. Yep.
So Roughhead knows exactly where Mackie can get to. Comes close to the man on the mark.
Touch, play on, touch.
So close, in fact, it was touched. So it's a boundary throw-in. A better result for Hawthorn than a behind in the end.
Good call, Lee. That 29 scoring shots out of 33 is
That's
amazing.
remarkable. Yeah, remarkable. If you get 1 out of 2, that's pretty good. So 29 out of 33 is just remarkable.
Taylor, Joel Corey, racking them up again now, up to 20 to centre half back. Plenty of cats. Enright, brilliantly done. Mackie to space. Advantage will be paid, I think. Selwood's got the football. Well, with a whistle a second time, then said play on. They get him behind the zone again. Lonergan needs to mark it, and he does. Upended. Down he goes.
Oh, he's not going to report him.
Hodge is getting reported.
And it's 50 back here, Luke. I know you were going for the ball, but you ended up hitting him in the head.
I didn't mean it. I was going for the ball.
Yeah, I know.
It's very hard for me to make the ball.
That'll be interesting, because I'm sure the ears of those people who'll go to the tribunal on Hawthorn's behalf would have pricked up there. I know you were going for the ball, but you hit him in the head. Yes.
I reckon he'll get his say if he goes to the tribunal anyway. Yeah.
Lonergan, point blank range. Gets that kick, his first of the night, and it's good.
Well, we've mentioned Geelong's domination in the forward 50. Maybe they're doing something that's more subtle than I can see. But this one simply, when you're running back with the flight of the ball, you're in trouble. All you can do is keep your eye on the ball. Well, his hand was very close to the ball, so that should help him a lot, I would have thought, in the next stage of his guilt or innocence.
From memory, Hodge was one of 4 players who didn't play in the opening round last year because they were suspended for Hawthorn.
That his fist actually bounced off the ball into Lonergan's chin, but he's been reported 7 times in his career, Luke Hodge, and he hasn't got off once.
Not about to start, I don't think.
Corey hard.
Bump was in the side and he rolled over.
It's a 7-goal game now. It's Lonergan and Scarlett. So Tim telling us about Scarlett having some problems at half-time and probably seeing the scoreboard able to give him a breather.
To him all over again.
I just wonder whether the Geelong forwards are almost going to preordain part of the forward line when they break through the middle of the ground, because the amount of times there's a Geelong player with no Hawthorn direct defender has been just quite remarkable tonight.
Corey was 3rd man up and then won the footy again back to that other Corey in Enright to Bartel, playing a lot off that half-back wing position. It eluded Johnson. Carlton got a lot out of their kids last night. Admittedly, they're playing against Richmond tonight.
Well,
the three rookies have struggled, haven't they?
I've always thought the more first games you play round 1, the more chance you're going to lose. I know Carlton's had played 4 last night and they won, but most of the time it's just such a big step up from anything they've done before.
Tuck falling to the ground, certainly one of the better players for the Hawks. Birchall bounces off Johnson and comes away. Stokes at centre half back. They've got some run. Tuck again involved. Birchall pushes to midfield. Hangs a long time in the air. This football working in front. Roughhead is certainly outnumbered. Look at this, 3-on-1, and that's a good result for the Hawks.
That's a great result. There was just Roughhead and Franklin versus 3 defenders and then a couple of wingmen pushing back. You see Bartel in front of screen there, but that was a great effort by Roughhead to get himself in that contest and to draw it.
Umpire tosses it up. Falling to the ground, it was Brown to Tuck to Jew. And that is a beautiful finish by the big man.
Well, he had the magic 5 minutes in the grand final. He's had a couple of good goals tonight. Scarlett back on the ground to pick up Roughhead. So inside 6 goals here, Hawthorn, but it's been all Geelong in the third quarter. Ling to centre half forward, and it's Whitecross. It's going to give him a bit of confidence.
Very lucky to get away with that, Luke Hodge. He actually eased Mooney out of the marking contest, but subtle enough, the umpire gave him the benefit.
Guerra and Stokes, boundary throw in.
Yeah, he's allowed to look, but he stays where he was.
Renner for the back, Blake at the front, Stokes back to Saul, back to Mitchell, racking up high numbers. Good kick to Guerra.
9 in this turn for Mitchell. Guerra, probing kick. Franklin, test of strength, wins it, takes the mark about 35 metres out.
It makes a lot of sense the way the Hawthorn forwards, their tall forwards, structure up and actually want the ball coming to them when they're running back, because their defenders have to run towards them. They've got their chest facing them rather than their backs. They can actually push into that, as Franklin did on that occasion.
How's the finish this time? Very nice.
So Buddy gets his second, and Hawthorn sneak back a little. They've got it from 7 goals basically down to 5 here. Another one here would be handy. Mitchell, clever, Guerra, long bomb, Franklin, nearly. Well done, Taylor.
Good play by Taylor. I reckon Franklin had the 60% chance, but Taylor was good enough to use his 40% to at least make the spoil.
And Rook,
maybe it was just a fumbled mark.
Rook came in off the line again, and Mitchell was a little bit more ready for him that time.
Over the shoulder, play on, play on, play
Couple
on.
of Taylor and Franklin, a couple of 22-year-olds from out west, eh?
Yes. Harry, certainly not as celebrated as his rival, but he's having a good one. I think he's set for a good season. Here's Rook. He's on the wing. Play on. Don't know why. Takes on Young, beats him, keeps going, kicks inside the forward 50. Here's an opportunity for Lonigan. He's taken the mark. He's about 25 metres out. Interesting, when they're bringing the ball down, I reckon there's about 2 or 3 players on the Geelong forward line that have got licence to run. Certainly Johnson and Gamble do. The others almost remain stationary targets. And stationary sometimes is difficult.
Is that the subtle thing they're doing down there? Because they're doing something in their forward 50, and I'm trying to work out what it is, because the number of times they're free in there.
Yep.
I mean, the Hawthorn defenders give you a chance by trying to play that zone setup, but tonight it's not working for them at all.
A few of them like a tree in the forest.
I think what they've been able to do well is actually that kick of Johnson's into Rook, and then Rook's ability to get around the man on the mark. It really nullifies the effect of the zone. And if you can get over the top of it and get across to the other side of the field, as Geelong have done on a couple of occasions, you can find a free target. The hard thing is getting there in the first place.
Ooh, he doesn't do that very often, Hodge.
Terrible kick, and Chapman may be the beneficiary. Back to Selwood, and that's a clever kick by Selwood. It was either Corey or Johnson running onto it. Now Johnson, he's been terrific, Johnson. Just the 1 goal, but he's created so much.
I'm not sure how much depth he's got in his kicking. It'll take a good one.
Is he going the top?
He's got it set up for the top, but he goes to drop punt. He's timed it really, really well. It's a goal. So Johnson's kicked a couple, played a big match.
102 plays 66, approaching 3/4 time. One of my favourites. There he is. Not on the boundary these days. Now we all slow down. In the back, surely Ottens to get the free kick.
Ottens fell on top of him. Play on.
Corey swings it out wide. Rook's been very effective.
Play on, play on, play on.
Chapman.
15, play on, play
Not 15.
Yours.
Kicks it very high. Lonigan's in front. Johnson launches himself off hands. Takes a Geelong bounce. Lonigan did well. Stokes opens up the goal. Gamble, though, running out of space. Goes back to Johnson. Through his legs. Lonigan comes again. Snaps towards full forward. Whitecross in front. And the ball ricochets and goes out of bounds.
Great contest there by Cameron Mooney. It's not always winning the ball that counts, but that one was basically if that was a 60-40 down here, that was probably a 90-10, and he was able to spoil the ball and create this contest for Geelong.
Well, I don't know, that's ruck free kicks. I look at the umpire. I never know any idea what they're going to do with ruck free kicks most of the time.
No.
That's happened there. Oh, yeah, you're probably fair enough when you have the benefit of that. The umpire could see the wrapped arms from Taylor around Ottens, although there's
depends where you're
contact
standing.
everywhere. Depends which angle you're looking from.
So Otten should really kick the goal here.
Thank you. Watch the mark. Don't go in.
The big long run up. Gee.
All clear.
He was a very reliable kick, Ottens.
Giving him a chance.
So Taylor left off the hook. Roughhead the target. Free kick.
Free kick.
Scarlett's pulled up properly here. Have a look at him. There's Ottens and Taylor. Scarlett really struggling on the mark for a moment. There he is. Not sure how long he'll be out there for as Roughhead goes long.
Big leap at the back there from Renoff. Nothing doing. Was that in the back? Yes,
Free
it was.
kick. Landed on top of his number. Got to be a free kick. Against you, Ryan. Get up, thank you.
Don't know about the forward coach or the kicking coach at Geelong. We won't mention name anyway.
Thanks, Campbell, right
Again
there.
He's certainly not going to mention his name, whoever it is.
Well, I would imagine he's pleading his case to Bomber Thompson during the week as the residue of Richmond. I can't be blamed.
Thank you.
There's a hangover from the previous night. Bad karma. Here's Selwood. That was like vaudeville last night. It's back. Short one. Ling.
Mark's there, chance. You got it.
Kicks inside the forward 50. Coming from behind, Lonigan. Falls in front, cast in the role of a rover. Taylor, Murphy, Guerra, Hodge. Schoenmaker's slow to get up back there. Taken down is Tuck. We get the siren. Three-quarter time. 103 plays 66. Planet 8 football at the MCG, and Hawthorn with a mountain to climb.
So Scarlett and also Renoff, a couple of injuries late in that third quarter, really hyperextending there, Renoff. And Scarlett has looked ginger for a little while, but Geelong seemingly in control. It's 103 to 66. Let's go down with Tim with Ken Hinkley.
Ken, I was just watching Bomber Thompson then. He looked like he was using some pretty strong language there at three-quarter time. Is he not happy with the way things are going, or does he just want to make sure that they play this game out?
I think he's, he's really more about playing the game out and making sure we, we finish off with a strong last quarter. We've had, three strong quarters except for our conversion. We just need to make sure now that, that quarter we turn it around to 6 goals 3 instead of 4 goals 8 for the first 2 quarters. So that makes a difference on the scoreboard. And I think that's what his message is to the boys. Just keep at it, keep using our ability to play the game the way we want to play it and really push some pressure onto the Hawthorn boys.
You'll be very happy with the way the boys have used the ball tonight, particularly in the forward half?
Yeah, we've used the ball well, barring the finishing. We've spoken about that a couple of times in the past. But, yeah, we've used the ball really well going forward. When we've got it in our forward half, we've looked really dangerous. We've scored heavily when we've had opportunities.
You really seem to be able to punch holes in this rolling zone tonight, the way you've used the ball when you've gone forward. Obviously, you've been using or spending a lot of time working on that over the summer months. Yeah,
look, we've been doing it for a little while. We work hard on the, beating the zone and that sort of stuff. And every side's sort of doing a bit more of it, so we've got to be really aware of it. And I think to our advantage, we've been able to do that for a little bit longer than some sides, so hopefully they'll continue.
Thanks for your time.
Thanks.
Ken Hinkley there with Tim Watson. So three-quarter time, 66 to 103.
And Buddy Franklin, Matthew Scarlett, I think, has had a couple of good games on him, which is he averages almost 10 shots at goal a game. He's had his 4 shots tonight, but Scarlett makes him earn every possession, although he's off the field now, as you probably would expect when they're 40 points in front, and he's a bit sore.
Joel Corey came into the midfield with about 5 minutes to go in the second quarter. He's been playing off half-back, but I really think that when he went in there, he added a little bit of running the lines. He had 7 touches, a couple of tackles in that third quarter. Just adds to the mix. I think he probably takes a little bit of pressure off the Abletts, the Bartells, and the Selwoods. But geez, he has been a running machine and continues to do so.
It was an interesting call to take him out of the midfield at the start of the game and put him in defence. I guess without Hunter and Harley, they tried that, but I don't think he's going to be in defence too often.
Speaking of Ablett, he's got 31 disposals in the 14 home and away games that he's had more than 30 disposals. Prior to this, he's got Brownlow medal votes in. Never missed out. So the Brownlow favourite seemingly off to a flying start.
I reckon the harsh words from Mark Thompson might have been about what Jeff Kennett said, and let's ram that home.
Start of the final term on Friday Night Football.
Free kick. No, you cross the line, arm out, play on.
Umpire Ryan putting his foot down. Chapman drives it down towards half forward, and the mark is taken by Gamble. Made his debut against the Hawks, round 22, 2006. First opponent, Brent Guerra, coached by Ross Gibbs in South Australia. Bartell, little chip pass outside the 50. Mooney comes up and takes it.
Campbell, that's it.
I reckon Mooney would have got that ball about 25 out if Steve Johnson had the ball where Gamble had it. He was on a couple of times.
Centering kick. Ling got his hands to it. Tuck, who hasn't stopped trying, fell over. White cross. Got out of trouble nicely. Taylor loops it out wide. Bateman is running around the outer side. Nobody forward, really. It's the back lead that he favours. Schoenmakers will need to go here. He's in desperate trouble. Corey trapped him, snared him. And the umpire got stage fright there. Nothing doing.
Straight away.
Have a bounce. Right half forward. Corey let him have the ball, then let him have it. Blake, 360. Didn't touch it. Ablett, quick as you like. Taylor, a little chip pass. Gamble's got it.
Uses a run of Ling, and now Ling's got a couple of options as well. Chapman running hard. Rook, who had a big third quarter, including a report and a couple of goals, and that's a great kick, and finds Enright inside the 50.
So I'd love to see the chart of where Geelong have taken their marks in the forward 50. They've just spread the space. I don't think there's too many in that centre corridor in between the point posts. This is about as centre corridor as they've marked it, but they've just used that outside space and constantly gone to the free player.
As a team tonight, Geelong 7 goals, 11 from set shots. Corey Enright has his first crack at it and makes it 8-11. Gets his first.
There was just a different level of fatigue in round one, as you can see. Most games you'll find this weekend, when it gets to the last quarter, sides will really look like they've had enough very early in the game, and basically it becomes just a possession game of who can maintain possession, because the first thing that drops off in a team when they get tired is their defensive pressure.
Well, in a star-studded lineup, I think it's fair to say Corey Enright doesn't always get his due. A man from Kimber. I've been to Kimber a couple of times. Out on the Nullarbor Plain. Hard to get a midnight cab in Kimber. Ling drives it inside the forward 50. Going back is Hodge. Got a fist on it. Plenty of Hawks back, though. Brown is one of them. Whoops, in trouble. Gets it across to Murphy. Guerra. Hodge, the old Czechoslovakian eye feint. Now he comes back towards the other pocket. Birchall, bit lucky, but he comes away with the footy.
Couple of bounces. He's trying to get it to Rioli. Brilliant Rioli.
In round 17 last year, we saw Rioli take that hanger 1-on-2 on the far flank. It looked a little bit similar, just couldn't keep a hold of it.
Franklin was able to get rid of Taylor, but he can't get rid of him. Then drops the footy. That's a great tackle by Corey. He's unlucky not to be rewarded, but the Cats will get it. Kelly, or they may not now. Stokes and Rioli together. Stokes did well. Held up. Back to Saul, and then Saul off one step. Bangs to Roughhead. Franklin at the back. timing hasn't quite been there tonight. Bartel under pressure. Taylor coughed it up. Tuck trying to get to Bateman. Varco's had some pretty good moments. Glover's a little on the ground. Chapman, Varco, Ling. Cats are like this. They've done this very well.
They're running now.
Back to Ling. Whoops. Didn't quite middle it. Sewell didn't have the football. No free kick. Mooney. His first game's been okay. Hasn't played a lot of football pre-season. Kicks inside the forward 50. Up in front, Guerra. Fell to ground as if struck by lightning. Over the top comes Hodge. At the base of that is Ablett. He's going to be penalised.
One thing that Geelong have done particularly well is they haven't let Roughhead or Franklin compete one-on-one in their forward line. They've been able to close it up, and that's really started their run and carry as well, turning the ball over in that area.
Bateman got it from Birchall.
Here we go.
Franklin takes the mark.
That's scary, isn't it? When Franklin has got a metre on you and the ball's in the air and you're looking for Franklin, you're looking for the ball. And I think Taylor and Scarlett as a duo have done magnificently on Franklin and Roughhead, but I guess when he gets an 80% chance like that, he's going to take it.
Not much of the ball, but kicking at his third. Pressure's off, but he steers a throw.
Dennis, you talked about Franklin and his and Roughhead's record against Geelong. It's only the second time that Franklin's kicked more than 2 goals against the Cats. His best was last year in round 7, and he kicked 4, so he's up to 3 tonight in what's been a quiet performance. So he and Roughhead yet to really get bags against the Cats.
And they weren't a factor in the grand final, really, were they?
They wouldn't be Robinson Crusoe, would they?
No,
I mean, really, Scarlett has just been a magnificent defender for a long, long time.
Mark Williams did get 8 against them a couple of years ago, so you know he's probably the one Hawthorn forward who got hold of them. That was before their big run, though. That was late in 06.
No 15, play on, play on, play on.
So does Buddy get a pass mark so far? Lee's kicked 3 tonight.
Well, on the quality of his opponent, it might be a pass mark. I wouldn't have thought, I mean, given that he has 8-10 shots a game, he's a long way from that.
So Enright gets it back from Chapman.
And kicks it hard across the ground. Joel Corey goes back. 23rd possession now. Bartel, his 23rd. To half forward, touch ball. Mackie turns around in desperate trouble. Whitecross was coming.
Touch, guys.
May have been a bit compassionate there, Whitecross.
I reckon he's done well in the second half, Whitecross, after a real shaky start.
Mark Thompson beginning his 10th season since replacing Gary Ayres. Time flies by. Rook, Selwood on the left boot, down towards the pocket, going back Hodge. Wants to go, did go, I thought. Oh, that's brilliant. Steps Gamble, drives it towards the defensive 50. Advantage will be paid. Young went to ground. Guerra runs with the ball from left half back, pulls it back. Rioli, haven't seen much of him, but now he's away. Enright in pursuit. Wonderful acceleration. Down towards Roughhead, up one hand, looking for a free kick, and he's going to get it. Or is he?
Just that, the initial contact from Lonergan was good there.
Hey, you've got the free. Take it back. All right. Hey, you have a look. Just here.
He says it was high on Roughhead.
We commented that Lonergan went to defence late in the NAB Cup. Just a hand on the face late in the NAB Cup grand final, and I think that's important to get some experience down here so that he's got the chance of playing at either end.
So Roughhead, 30 metres out. We're right behind him. Lovely kick. That's his second.
So the big two are up to 5 between them, aren't they? Roughhead and Franklin. A couple of last quarter goals. They sort of hang in, Hawthorn. It's a 5-goal game. Geelong seemingly over the line. They haven't completely buried an undermanned Hawthorn team with just 15 players from that premiership.
Report striking to the stomach. No, struck him to the stomach.
So Mackie reported.
Hold it. I've laid a report for striking to the stomach, okay? No, against Mackie.
Well,
15 metres off the ball, struck him in the stomach.
These two teams are doing their best they can to try and reduce the gap between the next.
Franklin works to the front. How many reports have we had? 3, haven't we? Rook, Hodge, Mackie. I think that's it.
Is there one for the knee on the head, Selwood?
There was a report, I think, wasn't there?
Wasn't it?
Yeah, was it Rennick? Yeah.
So 4.
Actually, Harry Taylor's disappeared from the game. They've got Milbourne and Lonergan playing those tall defensive roles. I don't know whether he's injured, Taylor, or whether he just decided to have a spell.
That's it there.
Actually, when you think about that knee to the head, the umpire was having a bit of trouble earlier on between a couple of players, Simon Taylor and Renouf. It'll be interesting to see who he reported.
Johnson lurking.
Still lurking. Gone. Mooney just walks in and quite happy to be held up.
Prior opportunity. Thank you.
So with these reports, are we just seeing 2 desperate teams? Or this rivalry that's been talked about these 2 teams?
There's definitely a bit of niggle there, Bruce. I don't think there's any doubt about that. They're celebrating their goals, and there's a lot of physicality in those contests.
There's another one. Front on by Rook. Down goes Young. Well done, Brown. Renouf. They'll bring it away. Tuck. Hodge. Little chip to the pocket. Barely 15. Birchall has got a lot of the football. Coming up for 26.
You can't say they didn't do any harm between the whole bunch of them. I mean, they were very mediocre. They might be guilty according to their rules and regulations, but they're very minor offences.
Sam Mitchell coming up for his 29th possession. Interesting, Mitchell. Nice teeth. No mouth guard. Unusual combination. Like a funny boss, really, but I don't know that you'd recommend that to everybody starting out on an AFL career. Here's Jew. Beautiful smile, Mitchell. Had a lot to smile about last season. Here's Roughhead just pushing off Milbourne, and he's marked at about 35 metres out. So Roughhead getting busy.
Maybe we're just seeing how good a player Scarlett is, and Taylor's been pretty good himself, because when those two aren't there, all of a sudden Franklin and Roughhead are starting to win the one-on-one contest.
Comes in, kicks another one, splits the middle.
Harry Taylor's back on the ground now. They are concerned about a lack of size down there, but Scarlett has been doing some running along the boundary line, but he's still going to sit the game out. It doesn't appear to be a serious injury, but it is something that obviously the medicos there are monitoring.
Thanks, Tim. So Roughhead 3 goals, best effort against Geelong. And Saul, a goal here might be handy.
Yes.
Roughhead front spot. Cats.
Easy, let it go. You've got the free kick.
Doesn't he fall into those high tackles well? I mean, that ability just to bend your knees, go in low. You go in low, you get the free kick.
Well, Lee, you received the most free kicks in the competition last year, Selwood.
Yeah. But there is an art into sort of trying to draw the free kick too when you get the chance.
Scotty West was the king, going to his knees and doing that. And, Mitchell and Selwood are very good as well.
So the Cats look like they might be repelling Hawthorn here. Johnson. Mooney's the target. Nearly got him. Varco, look away, handball. Stokes caught up by Varco. Ball up.
Still heaps of time, Bruce. 25 points, is it?
Yep.
Not impossible.
It's a matter whether Hawthorn can get the couple of goals to really start getting Geelong a bit nervous, because Geelong really have done enough to win the game and might still well win it. But the inaccuracy has kept them from burying their Hawthorn team.
I reckon the big question is, do Hawthorn think they've still got a bit of a chance here?
Well, knowing them, I think they do.
Suckling gets it from Hodge. Short to Brown. He's had a quiet night, Brown, hasn't he? Started forward with Corey on him. Not sure what he's going to do here. Just need to break a line here, Hawthorn. They're trying to conjure. They're working. Oh, they're in trouble. Stokes trying to make something. Chapman, Young.
Great tackle, no prior off.
You just see within the Hawthorn side, we know that they've got 3 first-gamers, but they've got 4 or 5 very inexperienced players. And when those chain of possessions to link them up, you can just see that little bit of inexperience and youth. They just not really making that instinctive right decision.
Started tonight with 6 blokes that hadn't played 20 games, compared with 1 for Geelong.
Sam Mitchell, no advantage.
Come back to Mitchell, who was terrific in there.
He's great at getting first hands, and as you said, Lee, very hard to tackle.
Yeah.
He's got the ability to shrug and pull his head down, and if he doesn't get away, often he'll get a free kick.
Hard way to earn them. Here's Tuck. Long kick down towards full forward. Franklin gets rid of his man, takes the mark. Play on's the call. Franklin open goal. Oh, it's on now. Geelong cannot finish them.
Yes, you've got to say, Geelong have dominated the game, but it's now 19 points, and all of a sudden Hawthorn have found a little bit in this last bit of the game. I think they'd be very happy, Geelong, to be able to recall Matthew Scarlett, because all of a sudden the Hawthorn big forwards have started to take control.
They're both on career highs now against Geelong, so suddenly they're feeling good about themselves, aren't they?
With the ability to keep your feet in a contest is important in today's football. As a midfielder to stay in the contest, but also as a forward to be able to take a mark, play on there. Harry Taylor lost his balance, and Franklin was away.
Well, Geelong haven't scored a goal for 14 minutes, and Hawthorn have kicked 4 in that time. Taylor and Franklin. Franklin hooks it back, can't get past Enright. Poor result in the end, had to do better. Enright with the 1-2, wants Stokes. Sewell did very well, and then Ling, couple of tough nuts there. Ling they couldn't bring him down. Tuck gets a free kick. He's had a lot of the ball, Tuck. Done well. They said he's had a terrific pre-season. Now Guerra's a good kick. Does he go all the way? He pops it up. Franklin. It's a behind, unfortunately, for Hawthorn. A big opportunity missed.
Bad kick. Bad kick. And Franklin's kick was terrible too. You'd have to go all day, every day to roughhead one out with Lonergan. Oh, Harry's missed the target. Mitchell to Young. Suddenly Hawthorn like their chances at the back of the pitch. A fumble. He was in.
He was thinking goal. He was thinking goal, and giving his conversion skills, that was probably a reasonable thought. But you've got to get the ball in the hands. Looks like Matthew Scarlett, saw or not, is being recalled.
Roughhead got shoved out. Bartel back to Chapman. Well done, Selwood. Back to Mackie.
Joel Selwood being held 50 metres. Joel Selwood being held late. 50 metres.
So that's the new rule to stop him being engaged in the next passage of play.
Got to let him go
against Stokes.
Thanks, mate. Just got to let him go quick. You can't stand. Yeah, but you can't stand there holding him.
So there's Stokes holding Selwood up.
Well, there wasn't much in that. Selwood had his arms out, but
draw the free. Draw the free.
It's a harsh rule. If that happened in the middle of the ground, and they go, well, that's a shot at goal. But it is fair because it's become a part of the game, a defensive tactic that teams use.
So Mackie to Rook. Just need a goal here, the Cats, to steady it up.
Just here. 51 metres.
They had the disappointing grand final.
Mate. Yep.
It's had a much better match tonight.
That's it.
So here he is, off the bench.
Clear it out. Play on.
Scarlett. Chapman will fancy himself from here. 1-2. Back to Johnson. Hooks to the goal square and belted through by Taylor. And Hawthorn still with a little sniff.
Guerra quickly. Young.
Virtual's on.
Left footer. Running out of space, goes with the right. It pitches well inside the boundary. Kelly runs it towards that boundary. Could have been taken high. No free kick. Well played by Williams. Well played by Kelly. Slaps it out. Well played indeed. Now they've got the numbers. Ling and Selwood combine. Finishes with Taylor. Taylor punches it down towards half forward. Interesting by Murphy. Close to the boundary line. Mooney over the shoulder. Plenty of Hawks there. Young one of them. Hodge to his own advantage. Taylor loops it back towards Tuck. Young comes through though. Did well. Birchall, Tuck. Birchall again. Mitchell to half forward. Taylor's in front. Will he get there? Stifles the bounce. Dew has it. Gives it across to Bateman. Bateman pinpoints it. Oh, and Roughhead fancies his chances. They've uncorked a couple of genies here. Scarlett was off the ground. And as a result, suddenly, Roughhead, who was completely held, likes his chances. His confidence is up. The same holds true for Franklin.
Hasn't Bateman been good in the last 15 minutes or so? Geez, he runs so hard.
He's a power runner, isn't he? Just keeps pounding.
Roughhead kicks from 35, puts it through. Gee.
Well, the kick 5 between them in the last quarter, Roughhead and Franklin, as Bomber looks on. And Lee, you talked about Franklin at three-quarter time, what he might have to do to make the difference. So within 13 points here, they've kicked the same number of goals, unbelievably, Hawthorn. And Geelong must be a bit nervous. Johnson from the ground. Tim, you're down there. I mean, what's happening?
Well, they've just lost complete control of the ball. I think the Hawthorn midfield's really on top. In the last couple of minutes, Geelong's looked a little bit tired in there. And then they're getting the ball so quickly into the forward line where they're able to use Roughhead and also Franklin.
Mind you, I think the word is diss. And I think they've dissed Hawthorn's forwards. I mean, they've taken blokes off. If we were to assume that Scarlett was okay, I mean, it's quite bizarre.
The closest player to them is Mackie, who's backing back at the moment 50 metres away. If Hawthorn can get it through as quickly as they have through, through the wings, they haven't really come through the centre corridor. You can see that there. Mackie is just behind the centre circle there. The only player for support.
They've had that formation where they've had plenty of space, Roughhead and Scarlett, but up until this last quarter, they haven't been able to get the ball.
Dew. Williams needs to kick it, and he does. So Franklin with a chance. He's got it. Is it 50? Buddy looking for 50.
What a remarkable match.
Geelong have played them into form.
They have.
It's been a fantastic last 10 minutes by the Hawks, no doubt. They've just kept powering. And their two big forwards have done what we know they can do.
Can he kick a fifth here?
He can.
They're steaming here, led by their two champion forwards.
Well, Geelong have been hard, and they've dominated the game for the majority of the match. But in the end, Hawthorn have been able to be harder for longer and run harder for longer than the Cats have. And not dissimilar to what we saw in the grand final, they've come home a lot harder than their opposition. Doesn't mean they're going to win it, but
no, it's
about in the mix.
Be about a 50-50 bet at the moment, isn't it? 5 minutes to go, 7 points.
So the margin back to just 7 points now, just under 5 minutes to go. Tim, are we to assume that Scarlett was okay?
Look, I think he's obviously got some sort of a niggle. That clash with Stokes in the second quarter, I think that shook up the part of his leg there somewhere. It's going to try and nurse him through the game, and obviously they haven't been able to do that now, and he's out there and he is limping slightly, and they prefer to have him on the bench and just being able to nurse him through this game. But I don't think it's serious, but it's just one of those nagging things.
Well, I guess that's fair enough as Corey unloads deep into attack, off hands. Ottens goes after the football. Mooney's hand pass close to the boundary line. Chapman kept it alive. Oh, barreling in down there was Hodge. Chapman paid the price. He was taken high. No free kick. Throw it in, says the umpire.
We know if Hodge's side is sore, how sore is Chapman's head?
Yeah.
Well, copped the full force there, didn't he, Chappie? Otten's front spot. Ablett. Back to Gamble. Back to Rook. Tried to crash and bash his way through. Gee, Rook's been terrific in this passage of play.
What you've got to do in that circumstance is just go 100 miles an hour with your head down at the footy. I guess both guys went at the footy, so that was play on. But you just got to go 100 miles, get your head down, and hope that some errant tackler will give you a high free kick.
It's a tough unit.
Sure is. Bateman can't get the handball away. So Geelong
if, and it's a big if Geelong still win the game, it's great experience for them because they just don't have enough games, really, that get really tight in the last quarters.
Mooney stopped Bateman's flow there. Ablett. Biggest margin that Hawthorn's ever come from at three-quarter time. 1956 against Richmond. They were 25 points behind at Punt Road. They were 37 points behind here at the last change.
25 is pretty pathetic over all those years, Bruce.
They gave Geelong a big lead in the third quarter once, didn't they?
Oh, they did.
Have it again.
Tell you a player that's done really well for Hawthorn is Brad Sewell. Ablett had 23 touches at half-time. He went on him just before half-time. He's got 35 now. He's only had the 12 in the second half, which is down on his output.
Selwood, was he taken high? I think he's going to get a free kick. So, flattened early. Coming up for his 24th possession. And how important this kick then. You get the feeling if they were to lose tonight, they really will have some self-doubt. So Selwood, Bryce and Marie hold their breath. And he comes. And he's missed. Hawthorn breathe a sigh of relief. Clock stops at 3:27. 8 points the margin on Friday Night Football.
So due very long. Down the centre corridor. Otten's over the top of Mitchell. Corey was in the contest. Sewell having this big say in this match. Well done. Out wide. Hard running Bateman. Shonemaker's one of his few touches, but he gets a long one in. Franklin.
Oh, he can't rush it through.
No, he can't rush it through, and he won't. He had some, just not enough pressure Franklin couldn't put on him there. Or Roughhead. Scarlett's handball over the top to Kelly. Don't think Mackie was quite ready. Chapman, they're getting some numbers back. Bartel, good kick to Johnson.
And Scarlett affected the spoil. No one else has been able to stop Roughhead and Franklin marking, but Scarlett was good enough in the contest.
Ling running hard. Kamikaze stuff there.
You just know what he's going to do, don't you?
Yes.
And Otten's cuts off the Mitchell shorty. To Chapman.
Several Hawthorn players cramping now. And we thought coming in that Geelong better prepared for this game. Brown is down with a trainer. Here's Otten's. Clock is down to 2:07 and running. 8 points the difference. Time may beat the Hawks, but they will take a lot from tonight. Bartel's got the football. Ling moments ago in a collision course with Campbell Brown, two of the toughest hombres in the competition. Neither gave a centimetre. Rook's got it on his chest now. Down to 142. Well, it's lived up to the hype. Selwood. This has been a terrific game. Geelong possibly should have won by more. Certainly should have been further in front, but I'm sure when they look back on the grand final over summer, they had the same misgivings about what occurred there. There's something about these two. Hawthorn go for the jugular. And Geelong can't quite finish them off. Stokes has got it 55 metres out, but I think they've done enough tonight. Little chip to the pocket. Mooney can't hang on. It's out of bounds, but that's a good spot for him.
Just good players tonight. Johnson, Ablett, Chapman, Scarlett. Scarlett, I think we've seen how good Scarlett's been by what's happened when he left the field. And even that last spoil on Franklin with the last Hawthorn forward flurry. But the previous three great players for Geelong tonight.
Well, the next time they clash is round 17, these two. There's a lot of footy to be played, obviously, between now and then.
There's no doubt Hawthorn will go in against Geelong a little bit more feeling, yeah, we've got a chance against them more than any other side. Collingwood maybe had that little bit of an edge, but NAB Cup Grand Final might have finished that.
Bateman probably should have got a free kick. Johnson. Stokes. Murphy. Mitchell. He's had a big match, the captain. Kicks to a one-on-one. Oh, good mark. Not paid to Mackie. Gee, it's unlucky, I thought, for Suckling. Mark taken by Ling. So Geelong safe. Kicked less goals in the end, remarkably.
Yeah.
And yet won the contest. What do you reckon, Bucks? Would Hawthorn be almost satisfied with the result?
Look, you want to win every game you play, but they've got more upside in them from this performance than Geelong have, and I think they felt that in round 17 last year as well.
So 43 out of their last 46, for the Cats.
Fantastic. But you've got to, I mean, the scoring margins, it isn't a big margin, 8 points. But they've had, what are we talking here? 14 more scoring shots, 13 more scoring shots. So they have dominated the game, but Hawthorn had a fantastic last 15 minutes, which allowed them to at least give them some hope.
Well, we talked about the rivalry building between these two teams. This match will only enhance that. Because of the way it finished and how close it got.
Look forward, any time they play, you look forward to them seeing these two teams play, and certainly Hawthorn, who had to be 90%, I reckon, tonight of what their capabilities can be, fitting well. Geelong were closer to their 100% even without Hunt and Harley, but Hawthorn at least took it to them despite the fact that the inaccuracy kept them in the game.
Let's go down and join Tim with Steve Johnson.
Jono, a few anxious moments in that last quarter.
Yeah, they come back at us. We probably ran out of legs a little bit, but just lucky we had the lead to be able to hold on.
Great rivalry building between these two clubs now.
Yeah, it is. You just got to look at the crowd to realise that there's a big rivalry, and both clubs love playing in this game now. So hopefully it continues over the next couple of years.
In the lead-up, was it impossible not to think about last year's grand final?
Probably, because obviously there were things we wanted to improve on against the Hawks, and go back to last year's tape, just have a quick look at a few pointers that you might take out of that game, but we haven't watched too much of it, but it's great that we were able to get away with the win tonight.
What about Jeff Kennett's comments during the week about mental fragility? Was that mentioned also?
Not really. I think it was pinned up on the board, but...
You didn't take a look?
No, I think I heard it, but I didn't take too much into it.
Congratulations. On you, Johnny.
Played a good straight bet, John.
Was that mentioned? I think it was pinned up on the board. Did you just take a look at that? No, I think I heard it. I think it might have been mentioned.
He talked about the crowd, 69,000 tonight. So do you add to what we had last night at the MCG? I think it's only there is Jeff. He's smiling. So let's go down to the captain tonight, Cameron Ling, with Tim.
They're hard to put away, aren't they?
Oh, yeah, that was hard work. Yeah, I don't think we helped ourselves very well. We had a fair bit of play early and missed the shots at goal, but that'll come. It's not the end of the world, but yeah, credit to them. They really fought back well, and it was good that the boys could hold on there at the end and keep our composure and get away with the win.
A lot of players cramping out there tonight. Is it really tough to get out here in that first game?
It is. Well, it's a bigger ground than Telstra Dome, which we played most of our NAB Cup games on. Plus, it's a longer game, and just getting used to that intensity of real home and away footy is a big step up as well. So I reckon both teams will be pretty sore tomorrow.
What about Sammy Mitchell? You went to him in the second half. He's a tough bloke to keep under control, isn't he?
Yeah, he really set them up in that first half, and he was playing some fantastic footy, and coaches asked me to do a job on him, and third quarter, he still just kept on getting the ball. He's a very good player, but I was happy that I could wear him down in the end.
Well done, Ken. Congratulations.
Good stuff, Tim. Well, they kicked 6 goals to 1 in the last quarter, the Hawks, but it wasn't enough. And Franklin and Roughhead got 3 each in that last term, but Geelong had made all the running, certainly in the third quarter where they took charge and deserved their win, and they continued to build on this remarkable record since round 5 in 2007. Ablett got 35 touches tonight. Selwood again, very, very good. So 43 wins from their last 46. It's an amazing performance by them. So Hawthorn brave, but Geelong got the 4 points. It was 111 to 103 on Friday Night Footy.